errands back home nag you? Did you lock up? Leave a window open? That's why I recommend investing in Simply Safe Home Security. It blankets your whole home in protection. It's backed by a 24/7 professional monitoring service, so you get fast emergency response when you need it the most. Right now, get 20% off any new Simply Safe system when you visit simplysafecolin.com. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
With Memorial Day savings at the Home Depot, you can give your lawn or garden beds a pop of color and protection. Right now, get a special buy on Scott's Earth Grow Mulch, 5 bags for just $10. Help your soil retain moisture longer with color that lasts up to 12 months. Shop Memorial Day savings for a special buy on Scott's Earth Grow Mulch, 5 bags for just $10 at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Get ready because the Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Summer Sales Event is on, and now is the best time to buy. You want 43 MPG Highway? We Gossett in 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage, $18,960 or $279 a month. 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, we Gossett, $27,350 or $399 per month. And your summer adventure starts with 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SE, we Gossett, $29,865 or $449 a month. Plus, every Gossett Mitsubishi comes with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, online 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
Mirage RHFO 9083, MSRP 19460, Sport RUO 110 764, MSRP 28070, Outlander RZO 53896, MSRP 30895, PF 695, acquisition fee 595, 15 cents excess mileage, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid to end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant.
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Greetings and salutations on this Thursday morning. What a show we have planned for you. Welcome into Sports 56 Mornings on this Thursday, May 23rd, 2024, 7:02 a.m. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, thank you so much, Family Leisure, for being with us as long as you have been with us. It's where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Factory direct pricing continues on swimming pools, spas, patio furniture, and so much more. The first hour of the program is also brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Well, the rain has come back. We had rain overnight. We had rain yesterday afternoon. It ruined my golf plans. Probably ruined everybody's outdoor plans. Currently 67 degrees. It will get up to 82 today, but scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast as well. Gusty winds, small hail possible. So a marginal risk of severe weather today. We're looking at a chance of rain in your area at 50%, which means it will probably rain in your area more than likely. Tonight we're looking at 69 degrees for low. Scattered thunderstorms once again in the forecast. Could become widespread overnight. Rain in the forecast for tomorrow. Rain in the forecast for Saturday. And then sunshine on Sunday. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Today on the program, we'll talk NBA playoffs. The finals in both conferences have gotten off to a rip-roaring start. We had an overtime game in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final, and last night a great game between Minnesota and Dallas to open up the Western Conference Final. The All-NBA teams were announced. We'll go over that. The NCAA's Board of Governors have voted to adopt settlement terms in their House case, and this is going to change, once again, the landscape of collegiate sports. There's still a lot of things they have to get done before it's finalized, but we will discuss that on the program today. We are loaded with guests. We will talk with Dawood Davis, the fine wide receiver for the Memphis Showboats at 7:30 in our Showboats Showcase. At 8:05, talking about that big case from the NCAA versus the House, or House versus the NCAA, whichever way you want to look at it. Steve Berkowitz, a man much smarter than me, will be joining us from USA Today Sports to break it down, what it all means. At 8:25, we'll talk baseballs. We do every Thursday with Kerry Miller from Bleacher Report. At 9:05, in studio, UFC fighter Memphian Danny Barlow. And then at 9:30, we'll talk with the head coach of the Florida State Seminoles, the former Memphis Tiger head coach, Mike Norvell. You can hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. Good morning.
Good morning.
Great game last night, wasn't it?
It was a lot of fun again, was it like Indiana giving a game away, but some missed opportunities for Minnesota last night in that game. But you got to give Dallas a lot of credit. Again, Luka doing Luka things. He makes big shots. He makes big plays, and they made big plays down the stretch. Heck, he even made a couple of big defensive plays, which were pretty impressive. And the Mavericks go in and steal game one with their two superstars doing their thing.
Road teams, it's still crazy how much the road teams are winning in the postseason in all the sports. Last night, the Stanley Cup finals, not the finals, but the conference finals in the East, you had Florida go into Madison Square Garden and shut out the Rangers in game one, 3-0. Indiana should have beaten Boston in game one at the Garden. And then last night, Dallas goes into Minnesota and wins 108-105. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't seem to be as much of an advantage as it's been in all the years of sports, having home court or home field or home ice advantage in the world of professional sports. But last night, Minnesota went on that run. I thought it was over for Dallas. I thought they were dead in the water. And then, as you mentioned, Luka making some huge plays down the stretch. Kyrie Irving carried them in the first half. He was unbelievable. Irving scored 24 in the first half. Minnesota had no answers for him. And Jaden McDaniels was great for Minnesota with 19 points. He finished with 24 total. But in the end, Luka 33 points. He had 15 in the fourth quarter. Kyrie ends up with 30 points. They hold Anthony Edwards to 19. He did hit 5 of 12 threes, but that's a pretty good job on Edwards when you limit him to 20 or under. And the Mavs dominated the paint. They were outscored by 36 points from three. Minnesota was hitting threes. They were raining threes like it was going out of style, and you think the team that's going to hit all those threes is going to win. No, Dallas dominated in the paint and won the game.
Yeah, it's hard to overcome a deficit of 12 three-pointers in a game. But Dallas found a way to do it. And it's also, you can look at the other side, it's going to be really hard for Minnesota to win with Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns combining to go 12 of 36 from the field. Mm-hmm. While Edwards made the 5 threes, he only made 1 2-point basket in the entire game. And Edwards' ability to get to the rim and use his athleticism and strength, I mean, they did a good job of just making sure he wasn't getting those types of shots. So, that's going to be a difficult proposition for them to win with those two guys combining to shoot that poorly from the field. And then, Mike Conley didn't shoot it well, and he had the one open three down the stretch that he missed, of course, at the free throw line. By the way, I think I saw somebody, I think on Twitter somewhere said that Minnesota's team total last night for the game line was 105.5. That's brutal.
Wow.
Because that means Mike Conley just needed to make 2 of the free throws at the end. So you knew he was missing the third one on purpose regardless. So that missed second free throw cost you your bet if you had the Minnesota team total over 105.5.
Those guys are good out there in Vegas. That's the first game one of a best-of-7 series win for Dallas in their last 5 or 6 playoff series. They normally lose the first game. And the unsung heroes, once again for Dallas, even though Doncic took over in the fourth quarter, when you have 2 superstars, you have to have role players. And the front office gets a lot of credit. If Dallas wins this series, and you and I both picked Minnesota in 7, I still think that's a strong and certainly doable pick in the end. But Dallas, if they do win, you got to give a lot of credit to the front office, as at the trade deadline, they made the moves to bring in the bigs. P.J. Washington, who has been terrific. He's hitting the 3 ball. He had 7 rebounds, gets 2 blocks. And Daniel Gafford, who hasn't been as good in the postseason, but in 21 minutes, he picks you up 9 rebounds. You go with Derek Lively, the kid who had 11 rebounds to go along with 2 blocks. That is a formidable front line. They're not all playing at the same time. I understand that. But Lively, Washington, Gafford, added to Doncic and Irving makes Dallas that more complete team. They were not a complete team at the All-Star break.
P.J. Washington continues to hit big-time shots, and he hit the three there in the final minute or couple minutes. I can't remember how much time was left when he hit the big corner three like he did last series. Had some huge threes in that. It is interesting that they last night and really here recently throughout postseason, they have been much better with Lively on the court than Gafford.
Right.
Last night, Gafford a minus 15, Lively a plus 19. So riding with Lively down the stretch, you're putting a rookie out there in those situations, but he's performing. He's doing all they ask him to do. They don't need him to do much on the offensive end, and he goes 4 for 4 from the field. But he's able to defend, rebound, do his thing, set screens, all of that, and they've just been much better with him on the floor than with Gafford on the floor.
By the way, on that P.J. Washington corner three, that was the extra pass that Kyrie Irving made. Kyrie Irving could have played hero ball. He's not like that. And he found the open man in the corner, just an intelligent basketball play by Kyrie Irving. You mentioned the struggles for some of the stars for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And you kept hearing Reggie Miller kept saying, something's wrong with Anthony Edwards, something's wrong with Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards, although not as aggressive as he normally is, and they were doing a good job trying to double team him, Anthony Edwards was 6 of 16, 5 of 12 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, had 11 rebounds, had 8 assists, had 2 steals, and 19 points. Yeah, he was MIA. Yes, it wasn't 40 points from Anthony Edwards, but Minnesota shouldn't have to depend on 40 from Anthony Edwards when you have Towns and you have Conley and you have Gobert, and McDaniels was huge. He had 24 points. So, yes, you need more from Karl Anthony Towns. 2 for 9, settling from 3 isn't going to cut it. Sure, he can make a big three, but he can also go inside with his size, and he never seems to really take advantage of that. So game 1 goes to the Dallas Mavericks winning on the road, and you turn around, and tonight you'll have game 2 in Boston. Will it be that normal game 2 meltdown of the Celtics at the Garden, or did we see that in game 1 in which they ended up coming back and winning in overtime? We'll find out tonight, 7 o'clock. Boston, again, leading the series 1-0. They're an 8.5-point favorite. The over-under 224.5.
The apparently, I guess Minnesota fans are upset about the basket interference call against Karl Anthony Towns. It was obviously basket interference. Like that ball is above the rim. Like I don't know why you would be upset about that. Like I think, and I give the replay officials credit because they did it very quickly. They didn't waste any time to make the ruling that no, this was, yes, we have confirmed it is basket interference. Like it really, it was fairly close. And the camera angle is a little weird because the ball got so high that it makes it look like it's outside the rim, but that's just the weird angle. Like when it comes back down, you can clearly see the ball is above the rim.
I think the confusion is that people think it has to be on the rim, and it has to be in the cylinder. It has to be above the. It can be as long as it's in the circumference of the rim. If it's above it, that's in the cylinder. That's basket interference. That's you can't come back and follow up a shot when the ball is in that general area. I think a lot of people are up in arms because they thought, well, that ball wasn't on the rim. It bounced off the rim, and then he dunked it. So it was the proper call. And like you said, that replay, that may have been the fastest look at a replay. I don't know why they all can't be that way. Some are a little bit tougher to call than others. I understand that. But sometimes you can have a sandwich and a drink by the time they've made their decision. That was quick, lightning quick.
And I'll be interested to see the last 2-minute report because Minnesota on the one inbounds play clearly got away with a backcourt violation.
That's what I thought.
And I assume the last 2-minute report will confirm that, but they inbounded to Karl Anthony Towns, and he throws it to Edwards before Edwards gets into the front court. Edwards jumps from the backcourt, catches the ball, lands in the front court. And they end up, Towns misses a 3, and then Naz Reid got the tip in. It obviously doesn't matter because Minnesota lost the game, but that was a backcourt violation that was missed that could have, if Minnesota had won the game, then I think Dallas in the end would have saw that like, wait a second, like that was a backcourt violation.
I thought the same thing, and then for a second, I'm like, okay, I got 62-year-old eyes. Maybe I didn't see it correctly. The All-NBA teams were announced yesterday, and for those of you who missed it, the first team consists of Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jason Tatum, Giannis Antetokounmpo, who unfortunately got hurt late in the year and missed most of the series with the Pacers, and then Nikola Jokic. Any problems with that? You or Zach, any problems with the first team? We'll tell you about the second and the third teams in a moment.
No, I have no problems at all. I think it's the kind of the interesting to me is, and this is just the way the NBA game and basketball overall has gone, but that's 5 different countries represented on first team All-NBA.
Wow, it's a world game. There's no question about it. And remember, to qualify for these All-NBA teams, you had to have played 60 games of the 82.
65.
Like I said, 65 of the 82-game schedule for your team. So you will not see the name of Joel Embiid anywhere on these teams. The second team, Anthony Davis, which is a surprise in of itself that he has played the last couple of years pretty much injury-free. Jalen Brunson, that's the argument that people will have that Brunson should have been first team. But it's AD, Brunson, Kawhi Leonard, again, playing over 65, Kawhi, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards. Your third team, Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Tyrese Halliburton, who had the breakthrough year, Domantas Sabonis, and some guy named LeBron James. I think it's 20 years now LeBron James has been on one of the All-NBA teams. Halliburton and Edwards, by making All-NBA, by hitting that 65-game threshold and then being elected or selected for one of these All-NBA teams, each made a cool extra $41 million. Could you imagine that? Here's $41 million, you're All-NBA.
Well, it's not like handed to him right now. But
I know, but the point
over
is,
the life of their contract,
you're making $41 million extra by being named to these teams, which they deserve to be on.
This is why Ja Morant's dumb decisions really hurt.
Did we calculate, or did somebody calculate the money that Ja lost? The possible money that Ja lost? How much was it? I know somebody threw that out one time.
Yeah, I mean, he did. I can't remember what the difference is Supermax to regular max was.
And all the games he missed because of the suspension. Wow, man.
But the
money right down the crapper.
The Luka and SGA. Luka now, by doing it, making it again, his extension, his Supermax that he could sign starting in the 2026-27 season would be a 5-year, $346 million deal.
Jeez.
I mean, just let that compute for a second. Basically averaging $70 million a year for a 5-year contract. SGA, with his Supermax that he's eligible for now, he could be the first player to make over $80 million in a year. He would make over $80 million, I think, in the 2030-31 season. $80 million for a year of NBA basketball.
How much did Jerry Jones pay for the Cowboys back then when he bought the Cowboys? It's just, look, don't give me inflation. I don't care. It's crazy. It's crazy, these contracts. Now, can they afford it? Apparently they can, because NBA, and we talked about this at the end of the show yesterday, the NBA is expected to finalize the new television contracts with Disney, Amazon, and NBC. So no more TNT. And the 3 deals are expected to more than double the league's current deals, bringing in at least $7 billion per year. So the salary cap is going to skyrocket. So when SGA makes $80 million a year, you could actually have another superstar on the team. I don't know what it'll be then, but I know that it is going to jump up significantly this upcoming season. And when that contract is signed.
It's a max increase of, I think, 10% per season for the salary cap. But it's going to be going up like 10% every year.
That's
because,
huge.
because of these new deals.
Right.
And all these contracts, because these contracts are all based on percentage of salary cap. So that's based on, I think, 10% increases of what these things would be. I still feel, I think at some point we reach a limit of what the TV companies will pay for these rights contracts, but we haven't reached them yet because every time any sports entity gets a new television contract, it's way more than its last one. So I don't know. At some point, I think they have to plateau, but it doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon.
I know the two things that people are concerned about the most with the move back to NBC, which once had the NBA. Speaking of the old times, the old days, John Tesh confirmed that he has been approached about bringing back the old NBA jingle for the NBA on NBC. And number two, that would mean the end of the award-winning show that coincides with the NBA on TNT, and that's, of course, Inside the NBA with Ernie Johnson, Charles Barkley, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal. What will happen? Is NBC going to try to bring that team over there? Ernie, I don't think, would leave because he has other responsibilities. There was the news yesterday that TNT will actually carry a couple of the college football playoff games. But this is significant as far as that show is concerned. There are people that say, look, as long as Charles Barkley goes to NBC, which will probably be the case, and is part of the show, then you're fine because Charles carries that show. But I think it's the camaraderie between all of them. I think it's they play off each other. Chuck's the leader. There's no question about it. I mean, Ernie's the consummate professional. But Kenny Smith kind of setting up Chuck, that whole thing, and then Shaq throwing in his 2 cents makes it the show it is, the award-winning show it is. So that's one that certainly I know has affected some folks when they think about the future of the NBA not being on TNT.
Yeah, I mean, people love that show, no doubt about it, and it has become a big part of that. And it's weird because it feels like TNT's been carrying the NBA forever now,
right?
And it's still relatively, I guess, kind of new and all things, but those guys have been such a big part of it too that it will be weird not having it on TNT. And if that group is not all together, which I would expect they will not all be together, regardless of some of them or whatever being there, it'll be a little different. There's no doubt about that. But I would guess that Barkley gets paid a whole bunch of money by somebody.
A whole bunch of money
by either ESPN or NBC. Charles Barkley will be making a bunch of money to say his outrageous stuff somewhere. The other guys, I don't know. I would assume, I don't know what Ernie's contract situation is and all that, but with the other stuff that they do, I would guess that he stays there, but I don't know.
He's an Atlanta guy. There's other things that they do, obviously, sports-wise, on that network. He's been there forever. He's Mr. TNT. And with Chuck, they already have their own Chuckster in Stephen A. Smith. So I don't know if he wants to be a part of that sideshow. He may just want to be his own sideshow on NBC. But time will tell.
Sunrise, it is breakfast time right now. And if you're thinking about maybe grabbing a little breakfast on the way to work, maybe you want to grab a little breakfast for the entire office. Stop on by Sunrise, either the original 670 Jefferson Avenue or Sunrise East on Poplar Avenue in East Memphis. To make it really quick, you could go online to sunrise901.com, go to their little pickup order thing on the website. You order your food there. Then when you get there, you go in the little side door, grab your food, and you're on your way. It can't get any quicker than that to grab your food. And you can get great breakfast food from their biscuit sandwiches with those homemade square biscuits that they've got. The P-Love is my favorite with the bologna, egg, and cheese. You can, of course, maybe get one of their breakfast bowls or the kitchen sink. Of course, on the lunch menu, great sandwiches and salads like their French dip, which I absolutely love, the bacon cheeseburger, and more. Heck, if you want to do a little catering, they can do catering as well for breakfast or for lunch. lunch, Sunrise is the place. Again, 670 Jefferson Avenue. That's the original. Sunrise East on Poplar Avenue in East Memphis. And online, again, where you can order for pickup, go to sunrise901.com.
Coming up next, it's our Showboat Showcase. We'll talk with wide receiver Dawood Davis. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Celebrate Memorial Day weekend at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Don't miss incredible deals like 50% bonus trade-in on all new clubs. Buy any 2 apparel items and receive a 3rd free. And save big on shoes, bags, carts, and travel covers. The more you buy, the more you save. Shop with us this Memorial Day weekend, in store or online. Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Get there.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
You know, one thing we never talk about is how family-friendly Central Barbecue is.
Always has been.
At any Central Barbecue location.
And there are a lot of them.
You know your kids will have a good time and a great meal.
The kids' menu is perfect.
Everything from a grilled cheese to a junior barbecue sandwich to a hot dog, junior chicken sandwich, or classic mac and cheese, and they all come with a side and a small drink, all at a great price.
You just left me with literally nothing to say about kids at Central Barbecue.
I was just trying to be thorough.
You covered everything. What am I supposed to talk about?
The parking?
You just stole the whole commercial.
When it's time for a brake job, go with a solution that delivers one of the smoothest and most quiet rides on the road. Napa Silent Guard brakes. Made with fiber-reinforced shims that eliminate noise for the life of the pad. Rubber-coated hardware for a better fit on 99.5% of vehicles. And quality design that meets and exceeds OE performance. Napa Silent Guard brakes deliver the stopping power and performance drivers demand in their vehicles. Available now at Napa locations nationwide.
Includes all rebates and incentives. Price excludes $695 PF. Lease includes PF $695. $650 acquisition fee. EV6 P5610964. MSRP $50,200. Telluride RG 510 $849. MSRP $38,305. Forte LXS RE 78169. MSRP $21,820. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
I got Jeff Allen on the line to hear about some crazy deals happening at Gossett Kia southbound Mariah.
Randy, I'd love to give all our customers our best deal. 2024 Kia Forte LXS gets 41 MPG highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 282 miles EPA estimated range will get you where you want to go in the 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, plus a 2024 Telluride LX, $357 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing and 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9 and peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, we'll make you happy at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
It's silly season in the life of your roof. I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. The weather can be unpredictable, and I'm ready to get more life out of your roof with our award-winning Owens Corning repair team. We're the repair guys the other repair guys call when they can't find the problem. Leaks become black mold when ignored. That's why when you call me, I start my inspection in the attic. Is it time for a beautiful new roof? 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you an estimate right over the phone. The best warranty in the business, including a warranty against ice dams. The only roofer in Memphis to offer a warranty against water intrusion due to snow buildup. Ask about military and first responder discounts. 901-867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian
Solutions.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Moving a little bit better than it was on 40 eastbound, leaving West Memphis, coming across the Hernando de Soto Bridge where they had it down to one lane a little bit earlier. It starts to pick up with more volume inbound on Summer Avenue. Also, southbound over here on Austin P Highway has increased with a little bit more volume just in the last few minutes on Austin P headed towards I-40. Hey, Weiber's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in the Memphis area. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 7:31 the time. We'll let you know what's happening at the SEC baseball tournament a little bit later on in the show. Steve Berkowitz from USA Today at 8:05. But right now it is time for our Showboat Showcase. The Showboats with 2 games left in their season. They will play host to the DC Defenders on Sunday at 1:30 at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. We are very pleased to be joined by their terrific wide receiver, Dawood Davis, who you can follow on Twitter at Dawood_Davis, one of the top receivers in the entire UFL, the pride of Western Kentucky. And Dawood joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Dawood, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Happy to be here.
So let me ask you this. In a year where the team it certainly has not gone the way you guys had planned, you got the team struggling, but yourself in a big year, a very important year for you to get the looks that you want from the National Football League, to get another opportunity. And, of course, you had that injury which curtailed that. How do you kind of weigh both? The team struggling, but you're putting up some good numbers.
Me personally, I just kind of take it as a learning experience as a team, for a team aspect, because our team is damn good, man. Yeah, some of the games in our season didn't go as we planned, but it was also some of these games that were very, very close. It just was like one play on defense, one play on offense, and it determines a whole different outcome of the game. I've been fighting with these guys since February, man. I know it's a fire in everybody's heart, and everybody's heart, man. It just didn't go as we planned. But man, as far as me individually, man, I just try to go out there every day and put my best foot forward. Like I tell the guys, it's a great opportunity to go out there and put good film out there to get back to the next level, because that's the main focus for everybody on this team is to go back to the NFL. So every game, every practice, I go out there like it's the Super Bowl, to put my best foot forward and put the best tape out there, man, to give me the best opportunity.
And for those that don't know, Dawood is 5th in receptions, 2nd in yards, tied for 1st in touchdowns, and has the longest play in the league this season with his 82-yard catch against Michigan. Last week against Michigan, first play of the game, you get the 65-yard touchdown. So when you're getting ready for that, you go out there on offense for that first play, and you know what play is called, and you know what opportunity might be there. Like, what's that like? And then what happened on that play to allow for the 65-yard touchdown?
Man, that's kind of a long story, because like a couple minutes before the game, me and the guys looking at the call sheet, and we seen the play, and like this whole season, teams have been playing over the top of that route. So I was just jokingly telling Sage that, hey, Sage, man, when coach called this play, just get ready, because they're gonna play over the top of me, man, and you'll get the ball. So I didn't expect myself to get the ball the whole time, and then I go out there and I run a route. I seen a corner bite, and in my head I was like, oh shit, we got him. And then I just ran, seen the ball, and it was over from there.
So I guess you always have to be ready. And then
always, man. 'Cause
once you caught it, was there any doubt you were going to be able to outrace him to the end zone?
Nah, man. I caught it. As soon as I caught it, I was gone. I already knew I was gone. Ain't nobody catch me, man.
Hey, David, how many of the first few? How many plays are scripted to start a game? Is there 10 plays scripted? Is it 1 play scripted? How does that work normally?
It's usually 15 plays scripted.
Okay.
It's usually 15 plays, so the coach will go through the first 15, and then after that, you'll kind of get the feel of what the defense is doing and call the plays from there.
All right, I got a question for you. This is not you. I'm not. You didn't do this, but we've seen it. We've seen it done at all levels of football. What is it with the receivers that get to the goal line and want to drop the football before they're in the end zone? It's happened numerous times. I don't get it. What are you guys trying to do? I know it's not you, but what's going on through the minds of these guys, in your opinion?
Shoot, I don't know, man. I don't take that ball out. I don't take that ball out until both of my feet cross the line.
Exactly.
Oh no.
But you've seen it, right? I mean, doesn't it drive you crazy?
Most definitely. Most definitely. People get too. I feel like some players get too comfortable about being that close, and they just get lackadaisical, and they just lose focus, and then bad stuff happen. So.
I got advice for him. Just hold on to the darn thing like it's a baby, man. Bring it all. Don't let it go until your teammates have already jumped all over you. Then you can do your celebration. Then you can spike it or whatever you want to do. But my gosh, that drives me crazy.
So you, Dave,
me too.
You seem to always be like happy and having fun playing. Like you always have a smile on your face. Like every time I see you, like on the field, like you have a smile on your face. Is that have you kind of just always been that way? Is just you enjoy playing football?
I just always been like that since I was little, man. So like growing up, my family and friends called me happy because like I always go around smiling and laughing at everything, man. I just was a happy kid. Growing up and it kind of carried over to me now. I just enjoy life, man. And, playing ball is a dream come true. I've been playing ball since I was 6 years old. I love this game, man. And the saying is, if you ain't having fun with it no more, that means it's over for you.
Yeah.
So I go out there every day and just trying to have fun, man. Because I know at any moment, this game can be taken from me. Just like when I was at Miami, that injury could have went way south, and I could never got to play this game again. So I just go out there every day, man, and just soak it all up because I know there's some people out there that can't play this game. So
that's a great attitude, David. That is a
that's
great
what I wanted to
attitude.
ask you about with that situation last year at Miami. You take that hit, you're down on the field, you end up in the hospital, and like what's going through your mind at that point about your what again could be the end of your career. And kind of does that change your perspective? How does that all change the way you look at things?
Man, most definitely changed my perspective because, like I said, that injury could have went way south. Like I got hit, I couldn't feel the whole right side of my body at first. So like I was scared. I was scared as heck, man. So I'm laying on the field, can't feel the right side of my body. Everything going through my mind is like, dang, it's over. Like, I worked my tail off going through college and high school and playing Little League, and now like my dream was in my grasp, and now it ain't there no more. So like I was really going through it when I got injured. But I got a strong support system. My wife, my kids, my manager. They kept everything in perspective for me. I started going back to church, I brought God back in my life, and then everything just panned out. I just gave everything to God, and I got a call from the Showboats, and here I am.
Showboats wide receiver David Davis joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines, having a spectacular season with 38 catches, 443 yards, and 5 touchdowns. There's 2 games left to go in the regular season. I'm not sure how it works, but And I assume you have an agent. Is there any contact from NFL teams, the possibility of maybe getting that summer camp invite? What's going on as far as that's concerned?
Yes, sir. I talked to my agent the other day. He said he told me teams just some teams calling about me. You know, just for me, I just got to go out there and finish these last 2 games strong, and then the sky's the limit.
Great.
When you were at Oregon, you switched to corner for a while. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
What was that like your choice, their choice? Like how did that all happen? And then how'd you get back to wide receiver when then you end up going to Western Kentucky?
Man, that was my choice. Cause I had a real good corners coach. And like he used to tell me every day, like, I'm telling you, David, if you want to play, you'll come over to play DB. And you come play DB, I got you. I'm gonna take care of you. So one day, I just woke up. I just went to go ask our head coach, like, hey, coach, I know I came here for receiver, but I played a little defense in high school. I was wondering, can I go play corner? And, he gave me the green light, and I went over there and played corner. So I played both ways. I played both ways my time there. Well, me just personally, man, just being a dog, being a competitor, man, I was just trying to do anything in my power to get on the field.
So playing two-way in high school, how many offers did you have coming out?
I had a lot, man. I had a lot. I don't even remember how many I had.
What is that like? What is that like to be courted? What is that like to be an athlete courted by so many schools? I mean, was your phone ringing off the hook? Was it constant letters? How's it all work?
Man. I had a lot of I had gangs of letters, man. I got a box at my mom's house, man, full of like all the colored letters I received throughout high school. But mainly the coaches contact your high school coach, and then your high school coach will tell you they offered you. Or sometimes during spring ball, you'll be at spring practice and you'll just see about 10 to 15 college coaches on the sideline watching you practice, and then they'll come up to you afterwards. They'll shake your hand, get the feel out, get the feel of you, and then they'll tell you they offered you. So it was for me, it was a great experience.
How did you, with all those offers, how do you end up going from South Florida all the way up to the Northwest? About as far away from your family as you can go.
Yeah, man, it was pretty far, man. But Oregon has been my dream school, man. They had a lot of great athletes run through there. But the main thing to me was me just watching DeAnthony Thomas growing up. Mm-hmm. He was a great force and power at Oregon. And, I kind of modeled my game out there in my high school. So as soon as I got the offer, man, I was like, man, that's my dream school, man. Kids grew up dreaming to go to Oregon, So I just took my chance with the faith and just went up there.
Did your family try and talk you out of it since it was so far away?
Most definitely, man. My family used to tell me every time, you sure you want to go all the way up there? I said, yeah, it's my dream school. So.
Well, it's not like Western Kentucky is a drive from South Florida either. It's not as far as Oregon, but that's still a hop on a plane to get there. He's David Davis. Showboats wide receiver, having a spectacular year. The Showboats, 2 more games, including Sunday at home against the D.C. Defenders at 1:30. Go on out there, watch Daywood perform, watch the team perform on Sunday. Daywood, absolute pleasure having you on the program. Thank you so much, and best of luck getting that call from the NFL. We're all rooting for you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yeah, I would be really. He will definitely be at a camp. I think he has a very good chance of making a team. He's really good. I don't know what his chances were with the Dolphins had the injury not happened, but obviously that was a scary situation, and that was right towards the end. I think that was the last preseason game. That was the game. He was the one that got hit where they stopped the game.
Yeah,
they stopped.
I didn't know it was him. I remember that certainly.
And so they let him go after that because I think they had to make their final cuts. But he's really, really good, and I know he's excited about this weekend because DC with Greg Williams as their defensive coordinator, very aggressive defense who plays like all man-to-man defense, and he wants to play. He loves going against guys who play man-to-man.
And he's putting up numbers dealing with 3 different quarterbacks. In 8 games, the Showboats have used 3 different quarterbacks. All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch, Mississippi is ready with your Silverado, your Tahoe, your Suburban. Get up to 30 miles per gallon with your new All-Star Chevy Equinox or Trailblazer. Financing down to 1.9%. No payments for a full 90 days. All-Star Chevy has a great deal on a new 24 Blazer EV. Gets charged up for this great vehicle. 36-month lease at just $369 a month. Only $2,500 down. The usual tax, title, and license. You can get more details by heading down to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch or giving them a call. Tons of Silverados, discounts up to $10,500, 1.9% financing. So college students, especially recent grads, military, teachers, healthcare workers, you get an extra $500 bonus. You want pre-owned? They got everything from Jeeps to trucks, even Corvettes. And as we get ready to celebrate Memorial Day on Monday, our friends at All-Star Chevy asked me to remind everyone to remember all who have made the ultimate sacrifice serving our country. Together, let's drive to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch today or go to allstarautogroup.com. When we come back, we'll talk SEC baseball and Rachel Heck does it again. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Extraordinary events come once in a blue moon, and right now, even the most extravagant luxuries are well within reach. The one and only May sale is back at Sissy's Log Cabin, and you can save up to 50% on nearly everything in the store. This is your chance to get the service, selection, and experience that makes you feel like family at the best prices of the year, guaranteed. Don't miss the one and only May sale at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Memorial Day weekend is coming, which means many folks will be grilling. And if you're firing up the grill this weekend or any weekend, there's one place to go for everything you need: Memphis Barbecue Supply. You need charcoal? They have 10 different brands of either lump or briquette charcoal. Pellets? How about over 2 tons in stock, 12 different flavors and blends. Looking for wood for smoking? Memphis Barbecue Supply has 9 different types of wood in chips, chunks, mini logs, and logs. You can even mix and match your wood from their bins of loose chunks. Whatever it is that you're grilling, steaks, ribs, burgers, pork butts, you name it, they have over 378 different rubs, sauces, injections, and raw spices to make sure your food tastes great. If you have any questions, they have award-winning pitmasters on staff that can help ensure that your cook will be the best ever. Memphis Barbecue Supply, 7041 Stage Road, or online, mbbqsupply.com.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
I've got Jason, the main man marshal, here, and he's ready to start something big at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. What's up, Jace?
Randy, I've got 42 MPG on the highway on the all-new 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE for only $249 a month. Or take your pick from the 2024 Tiguan S front-wheel drive or 2024 Taos SE. We Gossett at $279.28 a month.
That's a 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE, $249 a month. Or take your pick from 2024 Tiguan S or 2024 Taos SE, $279.28 $28 a month.
And Randy, you know the deal. Make me an offer because no reasonable offer will be refused.
Ask for Jason the Main Man Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike. Online, GossettVWMemphis.com.
Where we're charging for it and charging less every day.
All 36 monthly, 7,500 miles per year. Taos RMO 51756, MSRP 26063. Tiguan RM 103910, MSRP 31363. Jetta RMO 48802, MSRP 25506. Cross Sport RC 236449, MSRP 38981. Includes $3,000 rebate. Cannot be provided with special APR. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, file, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through the end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
You know that I can use somebody.
With the Showboats game on Sunday, again, 1:30 game Sunday afternoon at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. It is their Hats Off to Heroes game where they'll be saluting heroes from the military, from first responders, from healthcare, and education as well. They've actually got a special $10 ticket that you could buy that will, $5 each ticket will be donated to charitable organizations supporting those folks in those various things. Again, military, first responders, healthcare, and education. I have a couple of tickets that I will give to caller number 3 at 360-8255, 360-8255. Caller number 3 gets a pair of tickets to go see the Showboats and the Defenders, again, Sunday afternoon at 1:30, Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Caller number 3 at 360-8255, 360-8255. We'll get those pair of tickets, or that pair of tickets, to go on out to the game on Sunday to see the Showboats and the Defenders in action.
One player who's not happy about being snubbed, in his opinion, for the all-NBA teams is Bam Adebayo. So because of that, he will not be eligible to sign a Supermax deal after not making any of the all-NBA teams. He's been in the league 7 years. Adebayo is 26. I think of Adebayo as like 32. He's 26, 7 years. He averaged 19.3 points, 10.4 rebounds, 1.1 steals in 71 games this year. And once again, he has not been an all-NBA player. First team, second team, third team, in all 7 of his seasons. So I can understand Bam Adebayo, even though you look at these teams and you go, who you taking off? But Bam, who will certainly be on the USA Olympic team that goes to Paris, I think it was already announced, right? And is a consistent top big in the league. I can understand his displeasure. But some guys are just like the odd man out in situations. And I think he's undervalued a bit. There's no question about it. But he's one of probably several guys out there that are not happy for millions of reasons, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'd be unhappy too if it cost me a bunch of money, but he's not good enough. Like, who's he better than on that list?
Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't know who you take off.
Want to make it? Be better.
The SEC baseball tournament rolled into day 2 yesterday. The top seeds, the 1 seed, Tennessee, the 2 seed, Arkansas, the 3 seed, Kentucky, and the 4 seed, Texas A&M, all lost. Now, we're into the double elimination portion or segment of the tournament. So none of those 4 were eliminated, but they all move into the losers bracket.
Yep, 2 of them will be eliminated today. Pretty crazy day to see all 4 of those top seeds lose. But today will be Arkansas, Kentucky, with the loser being out. Texas A&M and Tennessee with the loser being out. So 2 of the top 4 seeds will be done after today. It'll be 2 and done for 2 of them down in Hoover.
Tennessee's the 1 seed. They've never won a national championship in baseball. The cream always rises to the top, in my opinion. LSU's an 11 seed. Vanderbilt's an 8 seed. They're always there. Always. LSU beat Kentucky, the 11 over the 3, 11-0. 11-0. You had Vanderbilt beat Tennessee, the 8 over the 1, 13-4. They've been there. They've done that. They've won World Series titles. South Carolina nipped Arkansas 6-5. That's the 10 over the 2. And then in a 5-4 battle, Mississippi State, coming off their walk-off win against Ole Miss the night prior, they beat Texas A&M 5-3. Again, LSU, Vanderbilt, I don't care what number's next to them in the SEC tournament, they're going to be right there.
Well, you also, I mean, and I don't know what the rates are, but like you also have to consider that like being seeded 10th in the SEC tournament, you could also be like number 10 in the country.
Well, there's no doubt about it. But I'm still
the SEC. Like these guys are, they all good.
No, there's no question. From top to bottom, they're all good. But my point is that the best during the regular season, which again was Tennessee, Arkansas, Kentucky, and Texas A&M, don't waltz into regionals or anything like that because of the competition. That I don't look at those numbers. I don't look at those seeds at all. I bring them up just for context here. I look at LSU every year, Vanderbilt every year. I don't care what they're doing in the regular season, even though for mere mortals it's normal. But for the SEC, it didn't place them in the top 4, and they had to open up in an elimination game. But they're always there. Congratulations to the great Rachel Heck, the pride of Memphis, playing for Stanford in her final year. The Stanford women win the NCAA championship for the second time in 3 years, and she gets the clinching point for the Cardinal in their team victory. So another championship, another accolade for Rachel Heck, who was in the news, 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago, whatever it was, announcing that she would not be going to the LPGA Tour, that she would remain an amateur, that she's looking at other things in life and will continue to play in amateur events, but will stay as an amateur. Put together one of the great amateur careers in women's golf, period.
Yeah, she had an outstanding career and still have a chance to do that at the amateur level. And great for her, great for Stanford. That Stanford golf team's pretty good. They've had some pretty good players through the years.
Well, Rose is gone now, and she's winning LPGA Tour events, and yet they just pick up where they left off. They'll add some golfers that are going to be great and are probably already great. And again, Rachel was the steady, consistent player that they've had over the last 4 years. What a career. Incredible student as well. Just what a representative of this city. The whole Heck family, all those young ladies, but specifically Rachel and what she was able to accomplish.
This time of our program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Memorial Day weekend is coming up, and I know folks will be thinking about getting out and doing some grilling if the weather cooperates. Well, if you're going to be grilling, you need to be doing it on the Big Green Egg. The best grill there is. Last grill you'll ever need to buy. The Big Green Egg and all the egg accessories. You can get all the details at biggreenegg.com.
Still waiting for that third caller, by the way.
All right, caller number 3. 360-8255, 360-8255. Pair of tickets to go out Sunday to see the Showboats in action against the D.C. Defenders. It's a 1:30 game Sunday afternoon. Their hats off to you. Speaking of grilling, by the way, they're going to be giving away the Showboats grill spatulas as well at the game on Sunday. So 360-8255.
When we come back, Steve Berkowitz from USA Today Sports, who is their project manager. I mean, the guy knows all these complicated issues in sports, and that's why he's my go-to when we have something as complicated as this suit that has been ongoing from the House of Representatives and the NCAA, and what it will mean with revenue sharing in the future of collegiate sports, what it will mean especially for the little guys out there. Could sports be dropping? Meaning getting rid of entire sports programs. I think that is certainly in the air. We will talk to Steve about what this all means, where we go from here. That's next to open up hour number 2. We do have our third caller. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
It's time to get to Gossett Kia on the Pike so Bobby J can put you in your new Kia today. Want summer fun and 41 MPG? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 282 miles of EPA estimated range with new 2023 Kia EV6 Win? $249 a month. Get extra room and extra fun with 2024 Kia Telluride LX. $357 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing. All 24-month lease plus 0% APR for 48 months. Available on the all-new Kia EV9. And peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So hurry to Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike. Online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Include all rebates and incentives. Price excludes $695 PF. Lease includes PF $695. $650 acquisition fee. EV6 P5610964. MSRP $50,200. Telluride RG $510,849. MSRP $38,305. Forte LXS RE78169. MSRP $21,820. Plus finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Summer starts now with Memorial Day appliance savings at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off. Plus, save an extra $50 on every $500 you spend on select major appliances from brands like KitchenAid. And right now, you can double your savings when you spend $2,500 or more. Shop in-store or online today, because Lowe's knows home improvement. Offer valid through 6/5. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
As the seasons change, so does the need for reliable home comfort. It's time to turn to the experts with Choates, where your family's comfort is our top priority. Right now, Choates is making it easier than ever to upgrade your home's climate control with our exceptional Carrier systems. There's never been a better time to enhance your comfort. Select from incredibly low monthly payments, 36 months no interest financing, or choose our $1,650 Cool Cash rebate instead and lower the upfront cost on select Carrier systems. It's not just savings, it's cool cash in your pocket. Low monthly payments, no interest financing, or cool cash rebates? Whatever you choose, you're choosing quality, reliability, and the trusted service of Choates. Call us today at 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to learn more about these incredible savings. But hurry, these deals are as fleeting as a cool breeze on a hot day. Choates, let our family serve your family.
I've got Rockin' Ronnie Smith on the line at Gossett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat on the Pike. And Ronnie, it's the season for the Memorial Day sales event.
It's time to rock, Randy, in your new 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4-wheel drive. $25,889 or $389 a month. That's $5,206 off MSRP. How about a 2024 Dodge Hornet GT all-wheel drive, packing up to 268 horsepower, plus 295 pound-feet of torque, $32,320, plus power up in our 2023 Dodge Charger SXT 4-door, $28,072. That's over $9,000 off MSRP.
So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike, or online anytime, GossettMotorCars.net. All 75 months at 8.99 APR, $3,500 down, Renegade Triple P 56520, MSRP $31,095, Charger PH 636,171, MSRP $37,120, Hornet R3A 15264, MSRP $34,820. Price includes all rebates and incentives and excludes PF 695. Payments includes PF 695. All exclude tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Dealer stock only.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South sports station.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still some volume coming down I-40 westbound right now, passing Chambers Chapel, Canada Road, coming in from Fayette County. Still a bit busy at times, but better than it was earlier on 40 East across the Hernando de Soto Bridge over from West Memphis. That's been tricky this morning as it continues to build inbound on Lamar, headed up towards 240. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64. They want you to know they are your full-service, family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:05 the time, hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 69 degrees, on the way up to 81 today. We'll see a little bit of sun, but mostly clouds and scattered thunderstorms in the forecast. In fact, there is a marginal risk of severe weather. Tonight we're looking at 68 for a low. Once again, scattered thunderstorms in the forecast with a chance of rain tonight at 70%. Hour 2 of the program is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. They are your family's jeweler, located at 4900 Poplar Avenue between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. They are your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters. Been serving Memphians and Mid-Southerners in that same East Memphis location for a quarter century and many more years back on Summer Avenue when they began. Family-owned and operated business. And they've thrived over the years because of people like you. They have so many repeat customers. They have full-service jewelers with 2 bench jewelers ready to serve you. And if you're looking for that special engagement ring, all their diamonds are independently graded and certified. They know there's a lot of competition out there, so they make sure they have a price point to suit everyone's budget. Whether it be a beautiful engagement ring, you're thinking about popping the question this summer, or a nice watch, any custom-made jewelry, gemstones of all types, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants, and so much more, plus estate and vintage jewelry, it's James Gaddis Jewelers. 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. Without further ado, it is time to get a lot more intelligent on the subject of this suit that has been going on with the House and the NCAA, and it looks like we may be coming to a head here as far as exactly what's going to happen, but we won't know the ramifications for a long time. We'll try to get a better understanding with our friend Steve Berkowitz. He's the Sports Project reporter and editor at USA Today. You can follow him on Twitter at @ByBerkowitz, and Steve joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. It's been a while, Steve. How you been?
Good, thanks. Yeah, thanks a lot for having me on.
This is just so complicated, in my opinion, and now the news every single day is becoming more and more like we are going to get a resolution soon as far as this case is concerned. It's not going to go to trial. There's going to be it looks like an approval of this. In fact, yesterday the NCAA Board of Governors voted to adopt the settlement terms. I think all that's left to go is the Pac-12, what's left of it, in the SEC for their approval, and then we can go from there. But what does it all mean? Because from every guest that I've had on, and we've had a lot of different topics and subjects and things that have pointed towards the changing of collegiate sports, and NIL and the portal and all that is part of that. But what the ramifications of this will mean here in the not too distant future?
Well, I mean, and the basic part of it is that there's going to be a multi-billion-dollar pool of money to provide, essentially compensatory damages to current and former athletes who this is athletes. So this is going to be current athletes, and then reaching back for I think 4 to 7 years. So that's going to be one thing. So they're going to be athletes who are going to be getting checks out of this settlement pool. Then on a going forward basis, schools are going to be able to directly compensate athletes for essentially for playing sports. I mean, it may be couched in compensation for use of their name, image, and likeness in various ways, but basically this is going to end up with athletes being paid by the schools, which obviously is that's a revolutionary if you go back 10 years, that's a pretty revolutionary idea in college sports.
Yeah, we're talking about revenue sharing for the athletes themselves, the student athletes, plus on top of that, what they can get through the collectives with NIL. But one thing that I haven't gotten an answer to, and maybe you know it, maybe you don't, it goes back, I think it's 2016. Why 2016? Why did they come up with that time period to compensate athletes from that point to now and not go even further back?
Yeah, that's a construct under antitrust law. If you file an antitrust lawsuit, you set up you define a damages class. You define a class of people who have been injured as a result of the limitation that you're trying to overturn. The law allows for damages to be awarded looking back 4 years from the date that the lawsuit was filed.
Okay,
that's just under antitrust law.
So
that's how you get that 4-year reach back to 2016. Since the case was filed in 2020. And then it covers everybody from the date of the lawsuit going forward until the date of a judgment or resolution. So the number of people who are getting money from the damages pool, gets larger and larger as time goes forward. So that's an expanding pool of people too. But anyway, that's how. But again, all of that is those are just antitrust law constructs.
The approval process here, we've seen some of the conferences. Is it just the Power 5 conferences that have to approve it? The other, like the Group of 5, the other smaller conferences, they don't have to approve this?
That's correct. The approval sort of the approval as it were from other conferences outside the Power 5 is through the NCAA. That's because the way the lawsuit was set up, the named defendants in the case were the NCAA and the five power conferences. I mean, and that was done because those are the conferences that have the money to fund a damages award. So, that's the reason why you would name those conferences as the defendants. And also, when you're going through the case legally, I mean, those are the athletes, in football, men's basketball, women's basketball, obviously, other sports, depending, on an individual institution. But those are the schools where the athletes have the greatest claim to be compensated because of the amount of revenue that's coming in. I mean, with all due respect to the schools in the Mid-American Conference, I mean, the schools, those athletics budgets and again, I'm just using that as an example, those athletics budgets are run in large part, and in some cases up to 70 or 80% of the revenue for the athletics department comes from the institution or from student fees. So, I mean, there's not that same level of revenue as you have in the SEC, where you have, a multi-billion-dollar long-term football television contract.
And if they all approve it, now the other side, I guess the athletes as part of this class action, they all have to approve it as well, right?
Well, I mean, they're the lawyers who are running the case, Steve Berman and Jeff Kessler. They are the ones who provide approval on behalf of the class. Now, there is a fourth lawsuit that is not one that's being run by Kessler and Berman. And actually, today there's a hearing in Denver that has to do with a sort of it's in the large picture, it's sort of a technical issue, but the ability of that case to go forward may well be determined based on the hearing today. I don't know if the judge will rule today, but the issue that the judge is deciding will have a lot to do with what happens with that case going forward. So the athlete approval, so to speak, is run by Jeff Kessler and Steve Berman. Now, when the settlement proposal this has to be presented to the judge in California who is overseeing these cases, and she has the right and the authority to approve it, ask for it to be amended or to reject it, and people who would be class members, athletes, have the ability to opt out or to challenge the sufficiency of the settlement. And I would think that there's a decent shot that there will be people who will object, and they file those objections with the court, and the judge, decides how much consideration to give to those complaints. So that's what I mean. It's a long answer to a straightforward question, but
it's a long process,
and it's a complicated issue.
But that's how it works.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, this will go over a period of months. I mean, the plaintiffs' lawyers, Berman and Kessler, I believe, have 30 days from the date in which everybody sort of agrees that this is what we're going to do. They have 30 days to submit a formal written proposal to the court.
Steve Berkowitz from USA Today Sports joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. All right, let's make this as simple as we can. I guess this would be House versus NCAA for dummies. All right, so we're talking about over $2 billion that will be shelled out. Again, everything's approved once the objections take place and all that. Over $2 billion, which will include not only the power conferences, but the group of five. And then you're also talking about revenue sharing and a lump sum of amount of money for each one of these schools within their conferences for the future for revenue sharing. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, the money, as I understand the settlement as it's being proposed, that there would be a percentage of certain revenues that would be allotted to the athletes, and then I presume how that's spread among the athletes will be up to the individual schools. And also, just to back up, I mean, the settlement pool, the damages pool, is going to be close to $3 billion. I think it's like 2.8. And again, while you're saying it covers the group of five, that those damages, the damages money is not going to go to athletes in the group of five conferences. Damages money is going to go to athletes that are in the Power Five.
Okay, so the damage money is only for the Power Five, but when the revenue sharing begins, each school will be on the hook for a certain amount of money to pay their student athletes, and that's where there could be a major problem for the non-Power 5 schools because of the revenue streams that they are bringing in is only so much compared to the power conferences, and now you're going to have to be shelling out a certain amount of money. Somewhere in the neighborhood, I've heard, of maybe $20 million. And there are going to be a number of schools, Steve, that are not going to be able to afford that, and they are going to be certainly dropping sports and probably adjusting their administration. People may lose jobs. I don't see how they're able to find that extra income to be able to pay for that type of revenue sharing plus everything else that it takes to run an athletic department. Would you concur?
Yeah. Well, are you talking about that in the context of the Power 5 school or whatever, on going forward basis, the Power 4 schools, or are you talking about this for the
No,
group
I'm
of five?
talking about the group of five. The Power 4, I think, is going to survive. They're going to be fine.
Yep.
It takes a little dent into it. But it's the group of five schools, like the University of Memphis here in Memphis, Tennessee, that I think will have to they're going to have to find other ways or they're going to lose sports.
Well, I mean, I think, look, as a practical matter now, when athletes have been able to get money under the broader rubric of NIL, which has become, on a sort of a de facto level, it's kind of become pay for play anyway. And there's always been financial disparities between schools in the group of five or schools that only play, that don't have football teams. Like VCU is a school that plays Division I sports, doesn't have a football team. Gonzaga, Division I school, doesn't have a football team, super competitive in basketball and other sports. So, there's always been financial disparities. And, now, are those disparities potentially going to become more pronounced? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But those disparities have always existed within Division I, and they exist within the Power 5 conferences. Michigan and Ohio State are operating much larger sports programs. They have budgets that are, in the $200 million range. And then you have Power 5 schools that are where budgets are in the low $100 million range. And that's within the same conference.
Mm-hmm.
So, there have always been disparities. again, I'm not going to sit here and say that these disparities won't become more pronounced and more stark. I think that's likely to happen. And will you see athletes, choosing to go to schools where the money is? Yeah, but I think that happens now, and you're seeing that in the transfer portal and the way athletes are moving around within that. But you also see athletes go the other way. Athletes who aren't getting the playing time that they want at a Power 5 school, decide, hey, I can get on the court and play here, and they'll do that too. I think there'll be some back and forth. How Group of 5 schools choose to budget for this, that remains to be seen. Whether they'll drop sports, or fire people or whatever. Again, a lot of this is still up in the air.
Sure.
But folks in the NCAA, as part of their legal defenses, have been talking about, sky is falling scenarios for every single circumstance in which athletes were going to be allowed to get anything. You go back to the beginning of all of this with the O'Bannon case, and the first case that was filed on this on behalf of Sam Keller, and this goes back to the mid aughts, so like in the 2005, 2006 area. This stuff has been going on for 15 years, and so the idea of athletes even being able to get a cost of attendance stipend to cover the difference between tuition, room, board, and books, and the actual cost of attendance. The NCAA said that if we have to do that, and the school said that if we have to do that, it's going to be the end of college sports programs.
Yeah, but the O'Bannon lawsuit, the O'Bannon lawsuit, my buddy was actually an attorney involved in that thing. This thing dwarfs that. We're talking about, possibly.
That's the point.
No question. But the point that I was making was just that at every point along the way, no matter what benefit that athletes weren't getting before, incrementally, every benefit was fought. Was fought at the NCAA and the schools. The schools are the NCAA. The NCAA isn't guys in Indianapolis. This is the institutions as a group.
Right.
Didn't make any of these changes except at the tip of a bayonet.
Right.
All of these settlements were because they were going to lose. And that's why they settled. That's why they ended up getting. That's the reason why they ended up getting crushed at the Supreme Court.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. Look. This is for sure. This is a different leap. But there are people who will tell you, who are involved in the marketing of college sports, that college sports is still under leveraged commercially. Like for all the commercial involvement in college sports, there are plenty of people who will tell you that it's under leveraged. If you start to make college sports look more like professional sports, which is what you're doing here if you're paying the athletes. So how much money do you think Ohio State could get for selling the naming rights to Ohio Stadium? That's an asset that the Ohio State is choosing not to leverage. Now, there are plenty of good reasons for that, and you can have a perfectly reasonable discussion about whether that's a good idea or bad idea. But, if you're hunting for money, there are definitely things that are and arrangements that are under leveraged.
And the other thing too, with the revenue sharing and the $20 million thing that's thrown out there, not every school is required to do the $20 million, right? They can choose how much they want to do.
My guess is that none of this is going to be required. There'll be a cap, which I think is going to be a potential sticking point for people who want to object to this. But yeah, and by the same token, too, the NCAA, I presume, is going to have to pass rules that create, that are permissive. So, it's not going to prevent a school like Memphis from compensating the athletes in the same way that Alabama does or Mississippi does. It's just, how much money can Memphis put against it?
All right, last thing for you, and I'm not sure if you've had a chance to read Wetzel's story, but he says the threat of we've had this threat of a Super League, right? A break off of the SEC and the Big Ten or whatever the case may be. We've had this looming for a while. Says the threat of a Super League break off has loomed over college athletics. Due to the House case, big schools now have 2.1 billion reasons to maintain the status quo. Maybe you know this better, can understand this better than I. I have not had a chance to read the story. Maybe you have not either. But why would this deter them from from still a Super League when there's still the chances to have more of an economic impact with the Super League?
First of all, I have not read. I have not read Dan Wetzel's piece, and I want to say, I really respect the work that Dan does, and Ross Dellinger and Pete Thamel. You got a lot of Dan Murphy from ESPN. You have a lot of really smart people who have been writing stories about this stuff. But I would, and again, not having read what Wetzel wrote, the thing that at this point, the thing that binds the NCAA Division I together is the men's basketball tournament. And if you break, if a group of schools within Division I breaks away, that presumably is going to be the end of the basketball tournament.
True.
That's still an unbelievably lucrative thing for schools. Now, is there, in terms of the money that it produces for the individual institutions, it's dwarfed by what the CFP generates and is going to be generating when you have a new television contract for the CFP. So, there's no kidding. There's no point in kidding around about that. But, there are a lot of reasons for bigger Division I schools to want to stay bound to smaller schools. One of which is that, if you start heavily, if you really break away and it becomes essentially an independent business enterprise, you start having trouble defending the educational end of this, which potentially affects schools, athletics departments, nonprofit status, and you don't have to go real far to get in that area. And the more sort of hoarding and narrowing of the money that you get, the more you get lawsuits from state attorneys general and things like that. And so I think there are a lot of reasons. There are plenty of reasons, and these, and I'm sure your listeners know. There are plenty of reasons and motivations for the bigger schools to break away, but there's some pretty good reasons to not break away. Like if you break away, who are you going to play? Schools in the rest that you leave behind say, okay, fine, you're going to break. Fine, we're not going to play anymore. Well, a lot of schools build their large parts of their non-conference schedules about against teams that that they want to be able to play and beat.
True.
So there are a lot of reasons that for those schools to want to remain tethered to the smaller schools. I think. Now, again, I say that knowing fully that there's all the financial reasons speak to the other side of the coin.
He is Steve Berkowitz. He's the sports project reporter and editor for USA Today. You can follow him on Twitter at @ByBerkowitz. That's B-Y Berkowitz. Thank you for spreading the insight and the intelligence that we needed on this topic. It's a convoluted one. It's certainly not over yet. Long way to go. But, Steve, you cleared up a lot of things for us. Really appreciate your time.
No problem. Again, thanks a lot for having me on.
Take care.
Folks, if you've got a move coming up, maybe you just got a new home and you're moving. Maybe it's across town. Maybe it's across country, wherever that is. Maybe it's a new office space that you're moving into. Well, if you're moving at all, you don't want to try and make that move yourself. You want to get the professionals to help you move. Talk to the folks at Black Tie Moving. 901-316-6196. 901-316-6196. That's the phone number. Or you can just go to the website, blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Talk with the folks from Black Tie. They'll work with you, coming up with a plan for your move that works for your needs, number one, and for your budget, number two. And you do get a no-obligation quote up front, so you know exactly what it's going to cost. Don't try and do that yourself. Don't ask your friends to help you. Get the professionals. Make sure you got people you trust who know what they're doing, who do this for a living, and they're going to make sure that your belongings get where they're going without any problems. That takes a lot of stress and worry out of that moving process for you. Talk to the folks from Black Tie Moving, 901-316-6196, or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis.
We're talking Major League Baseball with Kerry Miller from Bleacher Report. He's next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 at 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Rick's Powder Coating, for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
I've got Jason, the main man Marshall, here, and he's ready to start something big at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. What's up, Jace?
Randy, I've got 42 MPG on the highway on the all-new 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE for only $249 a month. Or take your pick from the 2024 Tiguan S front-wheel drive or 2024 Taos SE. We Gossett at $279.28 a month.
That's a 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE, $249 a month. Or take your pick from 2024 Tiguan S or 2024 Taos SE, $279.28 a month.
And Randy, you know the deal. Make me an offer, because no reasonable offer will be refused.
Ask for Jason, the main man Marshall, at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike. Online, GossettVWMemphis.com.
Where we're charging for it and charging less every day.
All 36-month lease, 7,500 miles per year. Taos RMO 51756, MSRP 26063. Tiguan RM 103.910, MSRP 31363. Jetta RMO 48802, MSRP 25506. Cross Sport RC 236449, MSRP 38981. Includes $3,000 rebate. Cannot be combined with special APR. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes fact filing license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid at the end of the month. With approved credit dealer stock only.
This traffic report brought to you by Appliance Liquidators with low prices and top-notch customer service. Appliance Liquidators, 3320 Goodman Road East in South Haven.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. There's still a couple of accidents in their clearing stages out here, so give yourself a little bit of extra travel time. It's been busy on 55 northbound there at Commerce Street coming up from DeSoto County on that earlier crash. Again, extra travel time because of some radar as well on I-40 coming in from Fayette County. It looks like some storms to the west of Memphis. Please be careful a little bit later on when those storms get here in that nasty weather. It seems like we can't catch a break when it comes to weather. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in the Memphis area. Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:32 is the time. Kerry Miller joins us in just a moment to talk Major League Baseball. At 9:05 in studio, UFC fighter Danny Barlow. And then at 9:30, we'll talk with the head coach of the Florida State Seminoles, Mike Norvell, the former Memphis Tiger head football coach. But right now, it's time to talk some baseball.
It's time to talk some baseball. Joining Greg and Eli is Kerry Miller from the Bleacher Report. Here's Kerry with Greg and Eli.
We get to do it every single Thursday. We get to talk Major League Baseball with Kerry Miller, who writes for Bleacher Report, covers more than just Major League Baseball and does a great job doing so. But we bring him on for his expertise in America's pastime. Kerry, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to hear I have some expertise.
Just a little bit. No, certainly. We love having you on. Well, let's use your expertise to answer this question about my Phillies. They are 36-14. They're off to the Major League Baseball's best 50-game start since the 01 Mariners. I think you would have won a lot of bar bets in betting other teams rather than the Mariners, but that was a great year in 01. But why? I mean, I knew the Phillies were going to be good, but I mean, come on. Every game, and they're not only winning, they're slaughtering teams.
Yeah, I mean, having Ranger Suarez turn into the best pitcher in baseball is a great first step in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
You already had two of the best in Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola. Spencer Turnbull has been a unexpectedly solid pitcher. I mean, Detroit could have held on to him for nothing. Like, they non-tendered him, and Philly's like, okay, we'll let him be one of our best pitchers as well. Like, it's crazy how well things are going for the Phillies outside of Trey Turner getting hurt, but hopefully that's not too seriously long. It should be back sometime in the next month or so. But I mean, Bryce Harper's been awesome. Even with Nick Castellanos not hitting as well as he should. I mean, he's starting to heat up now, but it's impressive what they've been able to do. No question about it.
I'm worried because it scares me. I'd rather be the hunter than the hunted, and now they're the hunted in a division that the Braves are in.
Yeah, you're used to finishing 14 games behind the Braves and then beating them in the postseason. Now it's looking like the opposite direction here. We'll see how things end up in October. But, yeah, they've been, 2 weeks ago, it felt like the Nationals were like 4 or 5 games behind the Phillies. Now we're like 14 games behind y'all. It's not cool. But
right. Hey, the Phillies still have one win over a team above 500.
See, I mean, it's a fair point that Eli brings up, a little concerning. But what about that?
Yeah, I mean, that we've looked at that with the Astros in the opposite direction. Right? I think I talked about that last week, that only 5 of their first 50 games were against poor teams. So for the Phillies to be in the opposite boat is wonderful. We'll see how things pan out when they have to deal with the likes of the Braves and the Dodgers on a more regular basis. But I mean, schedule strength is what it is, especially nowadays with everybody playing every team. Like, it's not like years past where they're just going to feast on the the Marlins and the Mets and the Nationals because they get to play whatever it was 19 games against them. Now it's more diversified. They're going to end up balancing out in the end. So we'll see if they can keep it going. But yeah, I think it's hard to say they're not for real. We'll see what happens once Suarez comes back to earth a little bit. Once Alec Boehm stops vying for a batting title, I don't know if anybody believes he's legitimately a 330 hitter and a Luis Arias type of guy. But yeah, I think they've been easily the good surprise story of the year as far as teams are concerned.
Meanwhile, the Yankees, who were expected to be good, and they've been really good, they've got the second best record, and now it looks like they're going to be getting Garrett Cole back as well here in the near future. I mean, that's a little scary for the rest of the American League East, when as good as they've been, and now might add Garrett Cole.
Yeah, that's a little unfair. It's like this is what the Rangers were hoping, right? That they'd be around here and then get to add Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom. Now they're barely treading water and don't know if there'll be a playoff team, but yeah, 34-17, and then you get to add the reigning AL Cy Young winner. Judge has been just out of control in May. Soto's been good all year. Got to get Gleyber Torres to wake up, though, man. That's been my concern. Like, is the infield going to carry its weight? Because Volpe started out hot, and then he's cooled off. Same with Oswaldo Cabrera. So can they do it with just 3 sluggers so far? Yes, and getting Garrett Cole back will be a huge boost as well. But it's going to be, even with the Orioles getting swept by the Cardinals, ending that two plus year streak of sweepless series. It's going to be a great battle between the Yankees and the Orioles in the AL East.
It's crazy because the Yankees have allowed the fewest runs in baseball already, and now you're going to add, as you said, the Cy Young Award winner to that staff.
Yeah, I mean, having Clay Holmes finally gave up some runs a couple of days ago, but having that great back end of the bullpen helps. But yeah, they've been fantastic starter. I'm looking at right now that they don't have a single starter with an ERA north of 3.3.
Wow.
So whose spot is Garrett Cole even taking? I mean, it's going to be Luis Gil, but they've been unbelievably good.
The more and more as this season progresses, and the more that the Yankees continue to win and there's smiles on the faces of those guys in the Bronx, I think the better chance that Juan Soto ends up staying with the Yankees for long term. He's certainly an AL MVP candidate. So right now, the boat's not rocking there. I wonder if all this good fortune would mean Soto in the future in pinstripes.
Yeah, I mean, we saw some reports in the last couple of days that he's turned down something like 7 extension offers over the last few years, and the only one we know the value of was that 15-year, $440 million, I think it was, from the Nationals before he got traded. I don't think we ever heard any specific numbers from the Padres. Haven't heard numbers yet from the Yankees. But then there was also some from Hal Steinbrenner yesterday saying that their long-term, where they're at right now financially is not viable in the long term.
Yeah,
I think he's already trying to put out there that they're. And these are the Yankees we're talking about. When has their financial situation ever not been viable long term? But it feels like they're already putting out there that they're not going to be keeping him. I don't know.
Well, that would be ridiculous.
It's working so far.
Yeah, that's like when I saw. George was never coming out talking about how they were not viable for the future with their economic situation.
And why even say that? Why even make that public? I don't understand, because Stanton is how old now, and he's battled injuries, and you got to be thinking about the long-term future. And Soto, as young as he is, with Judge for 10 more years, 12 more years, whatever the case may be, I don't get that one. But I did see that report. That surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, I know they have long-term contracts, right? Garrett Cole's like $320 million, somewhere in that range. Stanton is nearing the end of a $325 million deal. Obviously, Judge got that. 360, 400, whatever it was. Like, they've got big numbers on the books, but it's the Yankees. You can make it work. Like, if the Dodgers are happy to go well over $300 million every year, the Mets seem happy to do it. Like, what are the Yankees doing complaining?
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, and they're not worried about the Bally Sportsnet bankruptcy.
Right.
The Yes Network isn't going anywhere. They'll be just fine. You mentioned the Cardinals' sweep of the Orioles. Do you think the Cardinals are figuring this out? Why the good play recently from them, you think?
Yeah, I think that was more about the Orioles, kind of their luck running out a little bit. Like they've been home run like crazy, right? They're second in the majors in home runs. I think they're 26th in on base percentage. So it was like eventually that was going to balance out in some regard. They just kind of stopped homering against the Cardinals, but they're starting to turn it around, right? I mean, Arenado and Goldschmidt still aren't hitting well, but Gorman's been great. Mason Wynn, if it weren't for Shoto Imanaga, Mason Wynn might be a NL Rookie of the Year candidate. I think he's still eligible. I don't think he had enough plate appearances last season, but they're starting to get some pieces. Like, they were supposed to be maybe a top 5 offense in the NL, and they're not. I think they're actually last in the NL in runs scored. So if that turns around, if Arenado and Goldschmidt ever wake up, I think they've got a chance, because the offseason acquisitions of Gray and Gibson and Lynn, like, they've all worked out not great, but better than what the rotation was last year. So if the offense comes around, they can get there. And the AL Central is definitely up for grabs.
I think the Cardinals owners over the years and front office guys, Mozeliak now, I think they sleep in beds of 4-leaf clovers, because normally they're in the race. There's very rare years when they're out of it, and they got off to such a bad start, and they haven't done much of any moves. They lose Contreras to an injury, so you think they take another step backwards. But these other guys, as you mentioned, Mason Wynn, Lars Nootbaar starting to hit now, Burleson starting to hit. They're 8-2 in their last 10, and they've played good teams. And they're 5 games behind. That's all they're out in the National League Central. They're a minus 43 in runs scored in the run differential, whereas Milwaukee's a plus 38 leading. They're 5 games out. They got 4 starters that are really good in their rotation. And Lance Lynn has found a new lease on life in his second go-around. They'll probably make a move to get a 5th for the trade deadline. You can never count these guys out. They're like bed bugs, man. If you're not a Cardinals fan, you don't like this team, you can never kill them.
Yeah, and hopefully at some point Tommy Edman will be coming back. I know that wrist has been
Right.
bothering him, but I'm looking right now at their splits by defensive position. Cardinals center fielder has a 447 OPS this season. So getting Tommy Edman back would be a huge boon for them. But I know there hasn't been. I was looking yesterday. There have been no reports yet that he's not on a rehab assignment or anything. So I guess you're sticking with Michael Ciani and hoping for the best. Dylan Carlson's back, but he's not hitting either.
Right, right.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the state of Missouri, are the Royals in this for the long haul?
Well, it's Memorial Day in 5 days, right? We got to believe at this point. This is the first real measuring stick, and they're right there. Again, I said I don't know if Ranger Suarez can hang on with the Phillies. I think I believe in Ranger Suarez more than I believe in Seth Lugo as an AL Cy Young candidate.
Right.
Michael Wacha as well. Is he going to continue to pitch that well? But man, they've got hitters. Perez, if he can hold up for the year, again, similar to Alec Boehm, I don't know if he's going to be a batting title candidate, but he was really, really good 2-3 years ago. He's starting to come back around. He's having fun. He looks, energized with youth around these guys. Bobby Witt Jr., it looks like he's worth every bit of that $288 million they gave him in the offseason. I mean, they've got something. I don't know if they're going to win the AL Central because the Guardians look even better, but they look for real.
Every time I look in their box score, Salvador Perez, who's 74 years old, has a home run. I mean, it's every time. But you're right, the Guardians, again, I don't know what you expected from the Guardians. I expected them to compete for the AL Central. They're 33-17. They're a plus 65. They're 9-1 in their last 10. They've won 6 in a row. I mean, I don't know how many more nailers they can bring up, but I mean, those guys are terrific. That is a team that is fun to watch. They're surprising to a certain degree. How surprising?
I think it's extremely surprising. I do not understand. They went 76-86 last year, right? 10 games below 500, and did absolutely nothing in the offseason. Their big move was they got Scott Barlow or traded away Scott. I forget what it was. Something with Scott Barlow, and they DFA'd Cal Quantrill. Then they lost Shane Bieber 2 games into the season to UCL. And they're 16 games above. I don't get it. And it's mostly their batting. Their batting average is the same as it was last year when they were the lowest scoring team, hit the fewest home runs of any team last season. But with runners in scoring position, their OPS is 900. They've been the most opportunistic team ever. They capitalize on every RBI opportunity. It's wild, but I absolutely did not think they were going to be this good. I thought the Tigers were going to win the AL Central, and they look to be almost dead at this point. They're pitching all right, but man, they can't hit.
Yeah, they're not bad. You're right. They're anemic offensively, but they're out of it because of the way Cleveland is playing, the way Kansas City is playing. Well, next week, as you said, Memorial Day on Monday. So next time we talk to you on Thursday, we'll be past Memorial Day. We'll be into June. We can start to talk really seriously about what teams may be doing a little selling and who will be buying at the trade deadline. He is Kerry Miller, Bleacher Report. Read all his stories at Bleacher Report. Follow him on Twitter at Carrance James. Catch him every Thursday talking with us here on Sports 56 Mornings. Thank you, Kerry. Have a great week.
You got it. Take care, guys.
You too. Shoot 360 Memphis from preps to pros. This is the place to go to get your shot on, to improve your shooting, to become a better all-around basketball player. So for all you parents out there, grandparents, coaches, hey, if you have a recent graduate, they're basketball players, you haven't gotten them a graduation gift yet, how about a membership to Shoot 360 Memphis? It's a revolutionary training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with expert coaching to improve shooting skills. The facility is equipped with advanced shooting machines that provide real-time feedback on shooting accuracy and arc and depth. Players can track their progress and analyze their performance. Players of all skill levels can benefit from the personalized training programs that they offer. They use what they call NOAA Analytics, which was developed by NASA and Carnegie Mellon College. Everything the athletes do in their facility is recorded and stored in a member's app. You can watch their progress in real time. They're currently located in Collierville. They're moving to Cordova. They open up on June 1st, so we're just days away from them opening this state-of-the-art facility. And again, they're taking registrations right now. All you need to do is go online to Shoot 360 Memphis to sign up. Give them a call at 901 316-5500, 901-316-5500. Ask for a tour of the facilities, and they will give that for you, or they will provide that for you. Think about Shoot 360 Memphis for the basketball player in your family, where the preps and the pros go to get their shot on. Shoot 360 Memphis. We're coming back with our final segment here in hour number 2. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Celebrate Memorial Day weekend at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Don't miss incredible deals like 50% bonus trade-in on all new clubs. Buy any 2 apparel items and receive a 3rd free. And save big on shoes, bags, carts, and travel covers. The more you buy, the more you save. Shop with us this Memorial Day weekend, in-store or online. Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Get there.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
It's silly season in the life of your roof. I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. The weather can be unpredictable, and I'm ready to get more life out of your roof with our award-winning Owens Corning Repair Team. We're the repair guys the other repair guys call when they can't find the problem. Leaks become black mold when ignored. That's why when you call me, I start my inspection in the attic. Is it time for a beautiful new roof? 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you an estimate right over the phone. The best warranty in the business, including a warranty against ice dams. The only roofer in Memphis to offer a warranty against water intrusion due to snow buildup. Ask about military and first responder discounts. 901-867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I've got Rock and Ronnie Smith on the line at Gossett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat on the Pike. And Ronnie, it's the season for the Memorial Day sales event.
It's time to rock, Randy, in your new 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4-wheel drive. $25,889 or $389 a month. That's $5,206 off MSRP. How about a 2024 Dodge Hornet GT all-wheel drive, packing up to 268 horsepower, plus 295 pound-feet of torque, 32,320, plus power up in our 2023 Dodge Charger SXT 4-door, $28,072. That's over $9,000 off MSRP.
So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike, or online anytime, GossettMotorcars.net. All 75 months at 8.99 APR, 3,500 down, Renegade Triple P 56,520, MSRP 31,095, Charger PH 636,171, MSRP 37,120, Hornet R3A 152,64, MSRP 34,820. Price includes all rebates and incentives and excludes PF 695. Payments includes PF 695. All exclude tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Dealer stock only.
As you know, summer is right around the corner, and for most people, that means more activities, more golf, more biking, more of whatever you love to do. But if you're dealing with aches and pains, your more could become less. This is why I'm here to tell you about Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. You see, instead of masking your pain, Relief Factor's formula is designed to help reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free, and it's been a game changer for so many people. So let's get after it this summer. Let's feel good. Let's do more of the things that we love to do. Don't let pain keep you down. Give Relief Factor a try and save on your first order. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Help fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We had Coach Ryan Silverfield on the program on Tuesday, and I asked him about whether or not they're done as far as the portal is concerned. I guess you're never done as a team if there's somebody available in the portal right now with the ability to get any of these guys at any time, as far as the time structure of the portal, not the financial ramifications. But he didn't seem to indicate that they were done, although he had said originally going into spring football there weren't going to be too many additions because there weren't going to be too many departures. Well, there were some departures. The additions, again, looked to be really good on paper. And then yesterday, Memphis gets brothers from Indiana, from the Big Ten. Kobe Minor, a defensive back, and I knew they were going to get a defensive back. They lost a couple to Mississippi State, that they were going to go out and get a couple of D-backs, and that's what they did. And Kobe Minor is one that could be in the mix right away. And then his brother is Daryl Minor Jr., and he is a linebacker. So brothers, the brother Minors from Indiana University, added by Ryan Silverfield and his staff at Memphis, and they continue to hit it out of the ballpark.
Keep on adding. Can't hurt.
If you got the resources and you got the spots, right? You got the roster spots. So they continue to do that. Stanley Cup playoffs last night. I mentioned this in passing earlier. The Florida Panthers open up in the Eastern Conference Final with a 3-0 win over the New York Rangers. They go into Madison Square Garden and they win Game 1 by the score of 3-0. Of course, the Western Conference Final, you got Dallas, and you have the Edmonton Oilers and Connor McDavid.
Yes, Connor McDavid.
You don't know Connor McDavid?
I've heard the name.
He's one of the stars of hockey. He's a young superstar, kind of like a guy named Gretzky. I'm not saying he's Gretzky, but who knows? Maybe if Edmonton goes on a run and wins 4 out of 5 years the Stanley Cup, then we certainly can equate him to Wayne Gretzky. But Edmonton, it's been a while for a Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup, and they'll try. But Dallas will be a formidable opponent in the Western Conference.
The Memorial Day weekend coming up. If you got a big barbecue plan, big cookout planned, you need those supplies for the grill, head on over to Memphis Barbecue Supply. Talking about rubs and sauces, all that type. How about nearly 380 different rubs, sauces, injections, raw spices? You can find all of that there. All the tools like gloves and pans and any other tools that you need, they've got that. And, of course, when it comes to charcoal and wood and all of those things, well, they certainly got you taken care of there at Memphis Barbecue Supply. Charcoal, 10 different brands. They've got both lump charcoal. They've got briquette charcoal. If it's pellet grill that you got, well, they've got 2 tons of pellets in stock with 12 different flavors and blends. They've got the wood for smoking and flavor. They've got it in chips, chunks, mini logs, and logs. Whatever it is you need to make that barbecue great this weekend, they've got you taken care of at Memphis Barbecue Supply. You could go to mbbqsupply.com to shop online whenever you want, or you could go see them. And they're open 7 days a week, 7041 Stage Road, 7041 Stage Road. That's the address for Memphis Barbecue Supply.
UFC fighter Danny Barlow, the pride of Westwood High School, joins us next in studio. And then at 9:30, Florida State head football coach Mike Norvell. A busy final hour for us today here on this Thursday edition of Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Come join your Memphis Showboats for our annual Hats Off to Heroes game on Sunday, May 26th at 1:30. All game long, we'll be honoring military members, first responders, healthcare workers, and teachers. If that's not enough to get to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, then we'll also throw in a free grill spatula with an etched Showboats logo while supplies last. On top of all this, tickets start at just $10 and are available at theufl.com. Memphis versus DC, Sunday, May 26th at 1:30. Go Boats!
If you love sports and Mexican food, you can get the best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill on Summer near Graham. Watch all the big games on all the big TVs on all the walls at Los Cabos and enjoy premium tequila shots anytime for just $5.50. Celebrate every day with lunch specials from 10 to 3 and happy hour from 3 to 8. Lunch is just $6.75 to $10.99 and margaritas start at $3.99. Experience real Mexican cuisine along with great sports at Los Cabos on Summer near Graham.
Includes all rebates and incentives. Price excludes $695 PF. Lease includes PF $695. $650 acquisition fee. EV6 P5610964. MSRP $50,200. Telluride RG510 $849. MSRP $38,305. Forte LXS RE78169. MSRP $21,820. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit. Dealers.com.
I got Jeff Allen on the line to hear about some crazy deals happening at Gossett Kia southbound Mariah.
Randy, I'd love to give all our customers our best deal. 2024 Kia Forte LXS gets 41 MPG highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 282 miles EPA estimated range will get you where you want to go in the 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, plus a 2024 Telluride LX, $357 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing and 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9 and peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, we'll make you happy at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah.
Memorial Day weekend is coming, which means many folks will be grilling. And if you're firing up the grill this weekend or any weekend, there's one place to go for everything you need: Memphis Barbecue Supply. You need charcoal? They have 10 different brands of either lump or briquette charcoal. Pellets? How about over 2 tons in stock, 12 different flavors and blends. Looking for wood for smoking? Memphis Barbecue Supply has 9 different types of wood in chips, chunks, mini logs, and logs. You can even mix and match your wood from their bins of loose chunks. Whatever it is that you're grilling, steaks, ribs, burgers, pork butts, you name it, they have over 378 different rubs, sauces, injections, and raw spices to make sure your food tastes great. If you have any questions, they have award-winning pitmasters on staff that can help ensure that your cook will be the best ever. Memphis Barbecue Supply, 7041 Stage Road, or online, mbbqsupply.com.
This traffic report brought to you by Appliance Liquidators with low prices and top-notch customer service. Appliance Liquidators, 3320 Goodman Road East in South Haven.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still finishing up a couple of earlier wrecks we had out here. We're really concerned about this weather that's moving towards the West Tennessee area, especially in the Memphis area. Be careful here later on when that rain and storms get here. Traffic's still moving right now out here on 40 westbound as you come past Germantown Parkway, as you get up on that ramp there from I-40 onto 240, getting off onto Sam Cooper. We've watched that continue to build with more volume just in the last few minutes. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64, your full-service family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:01 the time, hour 3 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 73 degrees. We're looking at 81 for a high today, and there is a marginal risk of severe weather. Unfortunately, I'm the bearer of bad news. More rain in the forecast with scattered showers and thunderstorms that will continue into the evening with a low of 68 degrees. Third hour of the program is brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. They're moving to Horn Lake, 2356 Goodman Road. They're opening up their new shop on June 1st. They also have stores in Little Rock and Cleveland, Mississippi. They have been in Hernando, Mississippi, and they'll be there for less than a week, or maybe a little more than a week before they make the big move. Family-owned and operated local business that specializes in flooring and carpeting, everything from SPC and WPC vinyls to hardwoods by Portercraft to carpeting from Southern Luxury Carpet. They sell at wholesale, skip the middleman. save you lots of money. So for residential and commercial, homeowners and contractors, do yourself a favor and contact Jenkins Floors and More. You can stop by right now at their current location at 6 East Commerce in Hernando. Call them at 662-469-9350. They'll come to you. They'll give you a free estimate, free samples as well. Jenkins Floors and More, the third hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings. Well, this is a pleasure for me. I'm getting back to my old roots of calling combat sports. It's been a while since I've been on the mic for those events, but to have a UFC fighter in studio is a delight for us. And he is a local guy, and he is Danny Barlow. He's known as Danny, the great nickname. Once again, it's Left Hand to God. Danny, Left Hand to God Barlow. He's a Westwood High School product, and he is now a winner in the UFC after making that move up the ranks of MMA. He's 8-0 as a professional, and he's getting ready to fight again in August. He joins us in studio. Danny, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. What's going on, Memphis, Tennessee?
Thank you for joining us. So let's give a little background to your career. For those who don't know, you fought your first fight, UFC, after you won in the event by
Contender Series.
Yeah,
Danny
the Contender
White,
Series, Danny White. You beat a fellow Memphian.
Yes.
In Raheem Forrest.
Yeah.
But you go and you fight Josh Quinlan.
Yes.
You win your debut in UFC, and you do so with a broken left hand. How early in that fight did you break your left hand?
I broke it like the first minute in the first round.
And you knew it right away?
Yeah, it was a punch. I think I hit his forehead and it cracked. And I felt it, and I was like, yeah, it hurt at first, and it was more so, it was just loose. So the first round before, it's like it started to swell up, so it kind of like got a little bit, like stiffer around the second round. But the first round was just loose. I had to, keep locking it in and out. So it was grinding the whole first round. So I was like, yeah, it gave me a problem after I broke it, like the first 3 minutes afterwards. Yeah.
So how much of an adjustment do you have to make then? Trying the rest of the fight with that broken hand.
When you in the fight, it's more so like I had a plan to really just stay long and kick. You know what I'm saying? But he's a wrestler. Well, he's a Brazilian black belt in jiu-jitsu. So like my plan was to just really more so just kickboxing with him. But I chose. It's like if you understand fighting, it's the range. So you have if you outside the boxing range, it's kickboxing range. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to. I didn't think I wanted.
You wanted to keep your distance.
Yeah. But at first I wanted to keep. But after I broke the arm, I'd rather just box with him than he kept time a kick and then take me down. So basically, I made it more of a dog fight after I broke the arm because I didn't want him. I didn't know if I can grapple with it. You see what I'm saying? So if he would have took me down, I probably would. If I was, I probably couldn't wrestle with it. But I knew I could kind of manage it on the feet.
So it was the arm and not the hand?
No, it was the forearm.
It was the forearm. Okay.
Yeah.
So did you use that forearm, that left arm, the rest of that fight, which lasted into the third?
I used it more because I'd rather use it than him kick it. You see what I'm saying? I'd rather, like, if I'm punching
you use it as a weapon.
Yeah. I'd rather punch with it than, then only guy got it there. He can. Basically, if I'm throwing it, he know it. He don't know it. You know what I'm saying? So I was hiding it from him. You know what I'm saying? But I felt it and I knew it.
Right. He didn't know that. Are you fighting on adrenaline there? Is it mind over matter?
I actually don't. It's like how I fight is. It's more so I know we both have adrenaline to our favor. So I more so like to keep it calm. Like even when it gets to get rough, I reset. It's like I reset it because I feel everything. Like when you keep the adrenaline low, it's like you feel everything. So it's like I have that's how I train. So more so I can feel everything, but I know he can feel everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like I train for it though. So my job was to just hit him more. You know what I'm saying? Like put him through more pain than I was going through. But I felt it all, man. It was there, but at the same time, you got to make them adjustments. That's why we do it.
See, you guys amaze me, and I'm somewhat new, but I watch the pay-per-view stuff like that. But so what's the background? How do you decide that this is the career path? What made you realize this is something I'm good at and I can do this and I want to get beat up and beat other people up constantly?
Yeah. I mean, it was more so like I still can hoop. I played basketball, football. I had all those sports.
You played at Westwood, right?
Yeah, I played at Westwood. I did high jump. I went to college, did the same thing, basketball, football, and I actually played the trombone in college. I like the second trombone in college.
Did you really?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
You were playing football and go out at halftime with the band?
Now, it's like I fractured my hip, you know what I'm saying, real bad in high school, like jumping and stuff like that. When I got to college, I kind of took a break, you know what I'm saying? And then while I was taking my athletic break, I was in the band, but it was working. We had the march, and we had the I'm talking about it's the kids. So I actually did it. So fighting, it more so came after I came back home from college, and I was just like this athlete. Like I was still like look, I had eligibility to like play college collegiate sports, but I was working at Lifetime, and all the coaches like, man, I can hoop. The guys come home from spring break, and I used to be dunking like windmill fast break. So I was there. So it's to send me to. I just couldn't. I was working and taking care. Like basically I had responsibility, so I didn't, couldn't go back to college. And I just wanted to try it. I seen Creed, and I was like, man, I could do that, but I wanted to box at first. So like the first month or two of me, the first 2 weeks of me training, I was boxing. I was hitting the bag. I was, we'll do a little kickboxing workout, but I was mostly wanted to box. But one day we were sparring, and when Brian Hall came over, it was 2 UFC gyms, and they came over and they merged, and they brought some of them, the MMA guys, the team over there basically. And man, I sparred this kid, and we was boxing. I was beating him. I was tough on the feet, man. I'm thinking I'm getting him. Then we went to the ground. He took me down and turned to a monster, bro. Like, he turned to a monster. He choked me out, bro. I'm talking about I never, in the streets we say,
like, what the hell's this?
Yeah,
what's going on here?
In the streets, the rule, no grabbing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, yeah, we would break it up. Like, nah, so we were reset. But when he grabbed me and he took me down, he's like, he was weak on the feet. Like, I was beating him when we got on the ground. He turned to a totally different person, bro. He choked me out. And I was like, what is that, bro? So it broke something in me, like, bro, I really can't fight. Like, it's somebody out there that can do me like that. You know what I'm saying? And it hurt my pride. So I think pride pushed me into MMA, like actually finding out what that was.
Now you had to learn how to grapple. You had to learn to be on the ground. And with Brian the Law Hall, I used to call some of his early fights, and then of course he became a coach and a trainer. And shout out to Brian, who's not with us today. Your manager 4000 is here, and you got the whole entourage. But Brian is somebody I go way back with, and he is a great coach to learn from. So at that point, you decided to, I'm going to be a fighter, but I have to learn all the disciplines to be a well-rounded fighter.
Yeah, because it was about being dangerous. Like for me, it was an eye opener. Like, dude, I can't fight. Like. It's something out there that's a real advantage,
right.
And I think jiu-jitsu is a real advantage, especially when you claustrophobic, bro. Like you hate people grabbing. So it was something I had to get over fast.
Oh, you're claustrophobic,
man, bad. Like it was, and I was dealing with that every day. That was a real big thing, like for real. In the gym every day getting choked out.
Wow.
So how did you go about kind of learning that then?
I mean, it's just pushing through. Like it was it was some days in the gym when they said we grappling today. I wanted to get out of there, bro. But I think it was a moment I had with Coach on the mats. We put me in the crucifix, and crucifix is not really a submission. It's just a pin basically. And I'm laying there, and I'm like, okay, I tap. Like, I'm finna have a real panic attack, bro. I'm talking. He's laying on my chest, and I'm like, okay, I tap. Like, and he said, this ain't no submission. And he stayed there. I'm talking about, bro.
He wouldn't accept the submission.
And I'm like,
there's no referee there.
Yeah, and I'm like, bro, I'm like, Coach, I'm about to die. Like, dude. Then I look at the clock. Usually you can like, okay, how much time I got, bro? It's 3 minutes on the clock, bro. Of me just, I'm sorry, what? So I listened. I had thank God I had another coach there, AO. He was like, man, shrimp. I shrimp.
Yeah,
I'm talking about, bro. I used all the energy I could to shrimp, man. So
you go from that point where you're trying to learn how to grapple, you're claustrophobic, and then you start to get better and better and better.
Man, it got to the point where, man, I just started to, basically fall in love with everything. I was doing a lot of, research and studying outside, so I was working on stuff. So when I came back to practice, I had a new move, or it's like if I learned something, I really wanted to get good at it. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it was something that I really wanted to try. When it came down to fighting, I was telling Coach 2 years, I was like, I want to start my journey in like a year and 6 months. And I ended up fighting like 2 months later after that. So, I had my first fight at the FedEx Forum, like first amateur fight. So
who, like at that point, are you watching the UFC? Like, who are guys you're watching to try and study?
Yeah, I'm watching it, but I was more so I was a fan of certain guys like Anderson, Spider Silva, and John Jones, and then I was a big boxing fan, of course.
Sure,
so,
with Jones, yeah.
So I would watch it, all the boxers, Roy Jones Jr., like Floyd Mayweather, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, the Drunken Master, you got, so.
But then you got to start watching those guys, those Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys.
So I started to study a lot more on the ground game, and it was more boring, but you know what I'm saying? It was that I had to do. You know, over the years, I got pretty good at it. I'm a blue belt now, but I had the only reason I'm a blue belt because everybody was like, man, what's up with this white belt tap? Like I was tapping brown belts and the white belt, so they was like, yeah, coach had to give me a, you know what I'm saying. Now I'm just, I'm a blue belt right now.
So you get your first few fights, you move up the ranks. How do you get the invite to the Dana White series?
Basically, the invite came. I was either 4-0. I was probably 4-0 or 5-0.
Okay.
And it was after I got the title for Attitude MMA. And basically, my next fight, they were speaking of it. They was talking about it. It was just like we're like, a couple more fights we were bad to get you on Contender Series. It wasn't a for sure. So what happened was I was fighting for CFFC in Tunica. Yeah, so I had that fight scheduled against Jerry's Gill. It was at a 170 bout against Jerry's Gill. And in that camp, I had basically got all the way up to the weight cut. I cut the weight, and they said I didn't need the fight to get to the Contender Series. They called me like the day before weigh-ins for that fight and said I didn't need the fight. So I went back and drunk all the way. I had to do a double weight cut. I had to cut 15 pounds and
wow.
So it was hard. It was a hard weight cut because I had to, I was down I only had 5 pounds to go when they called me. So after they called me and said I didn't need the fight, drunk basically I rehydrated up to 185. You know what I'm saying? So. Then it's 10 o'clock at night. I had to cut weight all morning. So basically, I had to do 2 weight cuts. It got down to 172. You know what I'm saying? So I had. Then they it's like they didn't want to do catch weight. So basically, it was a hard weight cut, and basically. Man, it was a hard journey to get to, so they basically said, you need to fight now to make it. So basically, I don't know if I'm going to make weight. You know what I'm saying? So we end up making the weight. We end up getting the fight. And our goal was we had to put on performance. We got to win now. So it was and we want to win in an extensive way to let them know they're making the right decision. So that fight was, I went out there, got the first round finish, against a great guy. You know what I'm saying? Dude, good. He a beast. And like I said, we got that first round finish, man. So
finish with submission?
No, it was a first round knockout, TKO.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what weight do you fight at?
Welterweight. MMA is 170.
170? And what? So right now, what would you weigh?
I'm like 205 now.
205?
Yeah.
And you're fighting at 170?
Yeah.
You don't want to move up?
If I move up, you think you fighting guys just walk around at 220?
Right.
So it's all relative.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays, can't you take that? What's the pill you can take now to lose? Everybody's taking to lose weight.
I know.
What is that?
I don't know, man.
That's Ozempic.
Ozempic.
All the movie stars are taking that and all that.
I'm
not suggesting.
No, I'm saying you probably don't fight after that. They're probably
you might go to sleep.
So as you lead up to a fight, though, again, you're talking about cutting weight, but what will you be at maybe a week before the fight?
196.
Okay, and
196 and it's just mostly water. I walk around 205, 3% body fat, so I'm always in shape.
Yeah,
so
mine's not mostly water. Mine's mostly pasta.
Yeah, man. So it come off. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the different thing about the UFC, they got nutritionists and they got people that reach out. They give you meal plans and meal preps and stuff like that. You can go out to the PI and get they'll basically come up with a weight cut plan. And that's what, so it make it way easier.
So you get the chance now, UFC, you go and you win the fight over Quinlan. Do you sign a multi-fight contract? Are you part of their stable now? How does it work out for the future?
For everybody. I don't get the details. I just do for more likely. If you go my route is sometimes it's different ways to get into the UFC. They'll give you either a short notice fight. You'll come in and they'll probably a 1-fight contract or they'll whatever your team come up with or whatever the deal is. But mostly when you go my route, you're gonna get a 3-fight. It's 3-fight contract. Starting off. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much it's just it's a 3-fight contract. So that was the first fight of my 3-fight contract in the UFC.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So how old were you when you started like this?
I was 23, so I started late.
Yeah. So that's got to be very late for these guys.
I started training at 22. I think I had my first fight. I was 23.
So you're how old now?
I'm 28.
28 now. Yeah. Okay. So you're rehabilitating the forearm.
Yeah.
You're closing in on being hopefully 100% because you have a fight scheduled in August.
August 10th.
It's signed and you're ready to go.
Well, we just found out everything, so we getting the paperwork together. So
this is just happening now. You're just finding out that information.
Yeah.
So we got breaking news here.
Yeah, August 10th, man. We fight in Vegas. So, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a UFC fight night, pretty sure. But, yeah, so we on. We got something. We ready. We always at fight camp, but once we get that name, we go to game plan at fight camp. You know, it's the different stages of what with MMA, it's not boxing. You don't really have time to, you know, lay off because, you know, you either trying to get better at wrestling, get better at striking. So, it's more so I spent a lot of this camp, like, you know, trying to wait till the arm to heal. But I've been working. I've been doing things, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm good.
So, you're going 100% with the arm right now?
Not 100%.
Not 100%.
But like 100% with everything else. Like 120 with everything.
Gotcha.
So, ideally, like, if you're healthy and everything, like, how often would you fight?
I say what I would recommend people to fight, because once you get in the UFC, man, they can push you as much as you want to go. You know, especially if you healthy. You know what I'm saying? They got cars, you know, everywhere, every weekend. So I say healthy. I say like every 5 to 7 months.
Okay,
it's a good time frame. You know what I'm saying?
What do you have to get better at?
Me, man, everything. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm still at day one in my mind, because I don't have the experience. So it's like I'm an IQ fighter. You know, when I get in the cage, it's more so like I'm not, all the muscles go away, all the athleticism go away, and I think the fight. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I fight. And that's one thing, especially coming from Memphis, it's hard to do because it's like we so, you know what I'm saying, built on emotion. You know, it's always about the emotion. Like we can't control that, and that's the opposite of how I fight. You know what I'm saying? It's emotionless. Even with Rampage, he was a monster. He was a
right.
With me, it's more so like I go in there and I want people to. I'm an entertainer first, and I'm a winner second. What that mean is, if win lose, you in there.
You want to put on a show no matter what.
Yeah, you in
no
there
matter
with
what
the best.
result
So
is.
you in there with the best. So you understand anything can happen. You see what I'm saying? So it's like if I lose, you know what I'm saying, they were like, this, I want the fight of the night loss, or this,
right.
It looked fun. He had fun. He was entertaining loss. Instead of you got guys that go in there and win and they be first and they'll wrestle a guy whole and nobody want to see you fight.
Oh, they're looking at that. UFC's looking at it. They don't want somebody who loses all their fights, but they certainly want somebody that's entertaining if they happen to lose a fight.
Yes.
I said, I watch these papers and I don't know anything about what's going on, but like the one fight recently where the dude had the fight won, but in the last 10 seconds of the thing, he just stood in the middle of the ring and said, let's go. I was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's a dumb fighting move by his part, but it was awesome to watch from a fan's perspective.
Especially with Justin Gaethje, bro, dude. Like, with the hardest hitting dude in the world right now. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah, don't put yourself into trouble if there's a chance you could lose a fight.
Yeah.
Left Hand to God nickname, where did it come from? And I would imagine with that nickname, faith is very important to you?
Yes, 100%. I think that's what the light is. You know, I feel like my nickname came from Coach. To answer that question, man, Brian Hall. Like, it's, you know, like I said, if you ask me a million questions, I'd probably say Brian Hall, 900, whatever, number under a million. You know what I'm saying? It was more so. Brian Hall gave me the nickname, and the faith is definitely. I feel like God is the light for whatever you doing. You know, you can do a lot of stuff, but God is what bring the light to it.
Well,
I feel like that's what been the difference in my career. It's been that for sure.
I know and it's been a while for me, but having called so many fights, I know that this is a rich area of fighters.
Yeah.
Memphis, Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi. Do you guys have a friendly relationship with other fighters from other camps and from other clubs, or is it more adversary? Is it more of a competition?
Like, law school have always been like this, so we always thought on a different level. But now we on a different level. Like, it's I'm saying, like we in the UFC, like it's more so. We have never. We always been up because we always trying to get to that highest level. So we ain't got time to be we fight them. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. Like that's the game. But that's business. But other than that, we don't have time to be rivals or against it.
Don't need no squabbles going on. You're taking care of business.
We trying to but now it's more so we the only team that's in the UFC. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's just they don't have to respect it, but we got we have made it known that we got the blueprint to get us there. As a whole, tri-state area, we got what it takes to get us there and actually be successful on that level.
He is Danny Left-Handed God Barlow. He is 8-0 as a professional, 1-0 fighting for UFC, and he'll fight again on August 10th. It'll be out in Las Vegas. We can't thank you enough for being with us. We want to wish you nothing but the best. I mean, it's just fantastic when any of the local fighters, whether it be MMA or boxers, they're able to move up to the highest level, and UFC is certainly the highest level. So we'll be rooting for you, Danny.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you so much. We'll take a quick timeout. On the other side, Mike Norvell will join us, the Florida State head football coach. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
It's time to have a good time at Mugshots Grill and Bar in Olive Branch and Carterville. Come by for half-price happy hour 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with domestic drafts and $3 snacks. Then try one of Mugshots' 19 specialty burgers, including the Mugshot Burger. Finish it in 12 minutes and it's free. Plus, you get a free shirt. Mugshots in Olive Branch, 6400 Goodman Road, and Mugshots in Carterville, 656 West Poplar. So cheers to great food, good drinks, and fun company at Mugshots Grill and Bar, where you're always having a good time.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
They say health is wealth, and I could not agree more. That's why if you or somebody in your life is living with everyday aches and pains, I want to tell you about Relief Factor. And I'm telling you, I can feel the difference. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. Naturally. Now that's a big deal. Developed by doctors. Relief Factor's unique formula of ingredients all work together to help support your body's response to inflammation. Instead of masking pain for a couple of hours, Relief Factor actually helps reduce or even eliminate your pain for good. Whether it's neck, back, joint, or muscle pain, if you're looking to feel better, live better, give Relief Factor a try. In 3 weeks, you will know if it's working because you'll feel it. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Save on your first order. Don't let pain tell you how to live. Fight back naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
It's time to get to Gossett Kia on the Pike so Bobby J can put you in your new Kia today. Want summer fun and 41 MPG? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 282 miles of EPA estimated range with new 2023 Kia EV6 Win? $249 a month. Get extra room and extra fun with 2024 Kia Telluride LX. $357 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing. All 24-month lease plus 0% APR for 48 months available on the all-new Kia EV9. And peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So hurry to Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike. Online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Include all rebates and incentives. Price excludes $695 PF. Lease includes PF $695. $650 acquisition fee. EV6 P5610964. MSRP $50,200. Telluride RG 510 $849. Monday excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:27 is the time. Mike Norvell will join us in just a few moments. We have had a number of terrific guests today and a number of different topics that we have dived into. Tonight, the Pacers and the Celtics, Game 2 from Boston, with Boston leading that series 1-0. They're an 8.5-point favorite. Again, in the first two series, the previous two series for the Celtics, they lost Game 2 to Miami. They lost Game 2 to Cleveland. I don't know about Game 2 here because it seemed like they were laying an egg in Game 1, and then somehow with the collapse of the play in the final minute by the Pacers, final minute of regulation, they were able to escape, obviously, with the overtime win. So I don't know what to expect tonight. I would think Boston will be a little bit better, I would imagine. Indiana continues to shoot the ball extremely well. They had 7-8 guys, 2-3 off their bench, and the 5 starters that were all terrific. That's a lot to ask for, to shoot the way they did. But if they can get it done in Game 2 and split the series, then that's all they could ask for, right, is to get one in Boston and to make it a series. But I just don't know. Porzingis, as far as when he will return, they're looking at the possibility of Game 4 for his return, Kristaps Porzingis, to the Boston lineup.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what I would assume Boston will make some sort of adjustments after what Indiana was able to do in basically getting whatever matchup with Al Horford that they wanted, and then abusing Al Horford out of that matchup. Miles Turner, whether it was Miles Turner getting him switched onto a guard, whatever, Al Horford really had problems. So they certainly need Porzingis back, but he's not going to be there. But I would assume that Boston will come up with some adjustments as far as tonight's game is concerned. But they've been a team that has struggled at home through the past few years during the playoffs. So for Boston, it's been very rare for them to win the first 2 games at home in any of these series. They seem to always lose one of the first 2 at home. So we'll see if they're able to get it done tonight, or if Indiana can find that way to steal one.
Breaking news from the NBA, J.B. Bickerstaff has been let go by the Cleveland Cavaliers. J.B. Bickerstaff, I just don't get it. I thought he was good in Memphis. I thought he did a great job in Cleveland. I don't get it. I'm not sure what direction Cleveland's going in, but my guess would be player coach LeBron James. There we go.
Yes, after that last game when he was asked about it in the postgame, and I said, it's amazing. I don't even understand why that's a question with what he has done there. I don't know, unless there's an issue with the players, like that maybe like if Donovan Mitchell or Darius Garland or Mobley or somebody, I don't know. Like it just, I think J.B. Bickerstaff has done a fantastic job with Cleveland. Did a fantastic job this year with Cleveland.
Maybe Mitchell, right? But I can't imagine those other guys that have that kind of influence, although it is a players' league, and I'm not sure what their relationship was with J.B. Bickerstaff, but very interesting. That was rumored for a little bit, and now it has come to fruition. Without further ado, as promised, it is our pleasure to bring back a familiar name to the Memphis area, but a guy who has taken Florida State to another level here, as he has done an outstanding job as the head coach of the Florida State Seminoles. We are extremely pleased to be joined by head coach Mike Norvell, who you can follow on Twitter at Coach_Norvell. Coach, it's great to have you back on the program. How are you?
Man, everything's going great, guys. Appreciate you having me on. I hope everything's well there in Memphis.
Everything's fine. I felt like maybe dusting off your old open when you used to come on with us weekly, but we'll put that in the archives.
Well, I mean, I was hopeful there, but it's okay. We'll work through it.
Well, again, congratulations on everything that's going on at Florida State. I know when you took the job, there were a few rough patches at the beginning, and we know what you can do to a program, and some baby steps at first, and then all of a sudden you got the thing motoring. And last year was a great year. It was an unfortunate ending with the injuries, but my gosh, to have the type of season you have, to have that national impact that you did, I'm sure you're very, very proud of what you guys were able to accomplish.
I am, and it's been a wild journey for sure, but it's one that's been very rewarding just to see the growth and progression within our program, and obviously excited for what the future holds, and all things that we're pouring into it, and the young men I'm getting to coach.
Coming off of a year like last year, when you lose the amount of talent you did, obviously we saw plenty of it going in the NFL draft. There was a ton of Florida State guys. But coming off a year like last year, how much does it make it easier to kind of restock, having everybody seen the type of year you guys had last year?
Well, I think that when you look at this team, and we have 80 guys that are on the team from last year that are on this group moving forward, and we've been able to add some really good young players that I think have joined the program and really grown and developed over the last couple of years. Obviously the guys that have come in from the high school ranks, the transfers that have come in throughout the course of the spring. I mean, we're excited about the team that we have, and even last year we had some great players. And 10 guys getting drafted was really special. But we had a lot of guys that were contributors, a lot of guys that played that now have a new opportunity to take the next step in their game and in their careers. And so I'm excited about seeing all of that come together. And obviously it's going to be a very a very challenging road that we have ahead, but we do have a talented group that I get to work with. So excited about all things that are in front of us.
Florida State head football coach Mike Norvell joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. One of those guys that was drafted, Jordan Travis, who was absolutely tremendous. What a leader for you. And then, of course, the unfortunate injury. So quarterback-wise, you go out there and you get DJ Uiagalelei, who has been with Clemson out there at Oregon State, and now you bring him into the fold in Tallahassee. Tell us about that guy. No,
DJ's a great young man, very talented. Has great experience. That he's been able to work through. Some good, some challenges that he's had to overcome, and but so excited about having him here in Tallahassee. He did a great job here this spring. We got a very talented, quarterback room. We got Brock Glenn, obviously Memphis native. That I'm so very excited about what his future is, and what he's going to be able to accomplish. He had a really good spring. You got thrown into some challenging situations there his true freshman year there at the end of the season, but just a really impressive young man and player. And so to see those guys and the work that they're putting in together, how they continue to push each other. I think we've got one of the most talented quarterback rooms in the country, and also have a great a true freshman that's come in Luke Romanok. That seeing those guys, it is a fun group to coach, and excited about where they're going to be able to push this program, and just all things that are ahead.
With Brock, and as you mentioned, the situation at the end of last year, it's a very tough situation for him to suddenly be thrown into. But kind of how do you, when you're in a situation like that, how do you coach him through that so that he doesn't kind of maybe lose some confidence or whatever and come out of it, making it a learning experience?
No, I mean, it was definitely a challenging spot to get thrown into. Brock had actually missed, I want to say 6-7 weeks last year of practice, due to a slight injury. And so, there were some things that he really had to go through, and to start the championship game, and to get that experience. I mean, there was some good, there were some bad, there were some things that he could grow from, and even in the bowl game where we had a lot of guys that were out for various reasons. I saw him take positive steps, and he made some big throws. He had some plays where you saw improvement and growth, and and even coming out of that, the plays that that obviously he can learn from. His mindset and just approach really is special, and I think he did a really good job for us this spring. You see the growth, you see the confidence that's had emerged from the experience, because ultimately you get to learn from all experiences. Mm-hmm. Some are good, some are bad, but when you have the right mindset, it definitely can help push you to where you want to go, and he's definitely got that.
Coach, is it everything you thought it would be, Florida State?
I mean, it's a special place, and you guys know how I felt. My time there at Memphis and being able to lead that program, I believe it's one of the special cities in the world. It really is just a wonderful place, and will always be very dear to my heart. But it was going to take a remarkable opportunity for me to ever leave there, and I think that's what I was given here at Florida State, and it's been a true joy to be able to lead this program and to continue to push to get back to where ultimately I believe it deserves to be, and we've taken some positive steps in that direction, and obviously I'm a big fan of everything that's happening in Memphis, and Coach Overfield last year getting 10 wins, and I think going to be one of the best college football teams in the country here this next year with all that they have returning and the talent that's there. So definitely a big fan of that program, and getting a chance to compete against them this year is going to be going to be a great challenge. But I think it's another great opportunity for both teams to push and work to get better.
Yeah, I was going to say they're going to be really good, and then you got to coach against them, so that'll be a little weird for you, I'm sure.
No, it's definitely unique, but I've got a lot of respect for that program, and obviously poured our heart into helping continue to build it, and it's definitely exciting to see the positive steps that have been taken, and going against great competition, and obviously some incredible young men that are on that roster. I mean, it's going to be a battle. But we know that's going to be our third game going into it, so we've got some steps in front of it. But We're definitely excited for the stage to be able to compete against what I think will be one of the best teams in the country next year.
Coach, how did that come about? Was that just a simple call between Coach Silverfield and yourself, or how did it come to be where Memphis was going to play you guys this season?
Well, I have a little familiarity of the kind of how the scheduling works. So I know that second week of the season usually Memphis has a road game that they play, and we had an opportunity here this year. So it was obviously Ryan and I talked. Laird, while he was there at the time, we were able to get the powers to be connected, and ended up all being able to work out.
You mentioned it's your third game. You'll be opening the season over in Dublin, Ireland. Are you excited about the trip over there? And just kind of what's that mean for your program to be able to play games like that and provide opportunities like that for your players?
No, I think that's the key to it is that, we're kicking off. It's our ACC opener, playing a talented Georgia Tech team. But, when you sit there and you play in week 0, it does affect everything else. And so, we have an early start to our fall camp. We had an early start to all things. It adds another bye week throughout the course of the year, but also wanted our guys to not just go play a road game, essentially, 9 hours away, by a flight. I wanted them to be able to get a little bit of the experience. So we are going to have those guys stay on Sunday. Fortunately, we don't play till the next Monday, so they're going to get a unique experience and a grand stage, being the only game on college football. There in week 0, but also they're going to get an educational experience. Being able to be there in Dublin, and a lot of them it's the first time to ever leave the country, and it's going to be a unique opportunity for sure.
Florida State head football coach Mike Norvell joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. They need to change that week 0. That makes no sense to me, week 0. But anyway, I digress. I thought last year, Coach, you handled the situation incredibly well. And I know that we were both adamant on this program that you guys should have been in the playoff. This year you go to a 12-team playoff. It's a whole different ballgame with 12 teams now. What do you think about the expanded playoff?
I think it's good. You always want it to be accomplished on the field, and ultimately, you control what you can control. And this year, if you win, you win your conference, you put yourself in that position, then you're gonna be in. And so, at the end of the day, if that's not the case, if you don't win the conference, then you put yourself at the hands of somebody that's making a selection, and then there'll probably be some different perspectives that people will have on who's in and who's out. But if you could take care of your business, you're not going to have to worry about that. So that's going to be our focus.
What are your feelings kind of on where it seems like everything's headed with this lawsuit stuff and revenue sharing and the possibility, the players, the paying of them, all of these things? Like, where do you think, in your opinion, of where college football is headed?
It's definitely a new age, and we'll see what happens with the settlement. I know there's a lot of things circulating that's going to be quick. Possibly even today, tomorrow. One of these, sometime pretty soon, just to get a broad scope of what that's going to look like. But I think it is great for the players to be able to benefit with the opportunity that they have in the NIL world. If there's some say guidance, if there's some I guess foundational elements that are set up to help provide even them and understanding of the structure and the opportunities. I think that's a positive thing, and because right now it's just a lot of different dynamics that go around in college football, and you see guys that have left programs, assuming that there's going to be things in store or in place, and those things might or might not happen, and it's hard when you see challenging situations like that where the student athlete is where there's some uncertainty in it, right. And so ultimately, I think this is would potentially put some guidance and direction, and obviously I think it could be good. It's going to be different for sure, and there will be a lot of the ripple effects of all things. When big decisions and this would be a monumental change, but at the end of the day, it's all part of it, and you adapt, you adjust, and you try to continue to push and make things as good as it can possibly be for everybody involved.
Coach, you're kind to join us. We know how busy your schedule is. We really appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you in person when we come down with the Tigers for the game in Tallahassee this year. Want to wish you nothing but the best. And again, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on, and you guys are always summer ahead. Try to stay cool when you can. But we will see you guys soon, and go Noles.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Coach Mike Norvell, the head coach of the Florida State Seminoles. Yeah, it's not like he's in Alaska, for goodness sakes. Gets a little hot and moist in Tallahassee as well. Yeah, they're going to be good again. I know people are looking at Memphis and thinking that they could pull the upset, and they certainly can. There's no question in my mind, but I think we're maybe not giving the respect that Florida State deserves. Yes, they lost a lot of talent to the NFL, but they have brought in a lot of talent. They did really well in recruiting, great recruiting class on paper, great portal class on paper, and a proven quarterback in DJ Uiagalelei. Tough guy to bring down. Certainly will be a challenge for Memphis and any other team on the Florida State schedule.
Yeah, they obviously there's a lot of talent lost, especially at the receiver position. There's a lot of talent lost. Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson, that group. That's an elite receiving core. But at places like that, generally there are guys behind them ready to step in, and plus the ability now to go into the transfer portal and add new guys to fill those holes. And at Florida State, you can do that. It's again, especially coming off a year like last year, pretty attractive place. And on the offensive side of the ball, Mike Norvell's offense is always going to be attractive to skill position players and quarterbacks, receivers. They're going to want to go play that offense. So I never doubt his ability to go get a quarterback and receivers.
Absolutely.
That's the quarterback in his offense determines his offense.
Sure.
It does it so many things, but he's got to have the right quarterback. And an experienced guy like Uiagalelei, that's a nice guy to have coming in there with the experience that he's had in those types of offense through the years. Genesis Diamonds, if you're getting engaged this spring, you want to head on over to Genesis Diamonds and pick out that perfect ring for her. And they have, when I'm talking about perfect ring, well, they got plenty of them to choose from for you to find that perfect ring. Plus, they've got great people to help you find that perfect ring. They don't have commissioned salespeople. They've got people there just to help you pick out exactly what is right for you. And they've got all the top designers, handcrafted rings from top designers like Tacori and Viraggio and many others, many lines that no other jewelry store in town has. And when it comes to the selection of diamonds, well, you're not going to beat that either. Whether it be natural diamonds or lab-grown diamonds, you make that decision. You can make that choice. They've got all kinds of sizes. They've got all kinds of shapes. They got everything you can imagine, every different price range. They are direct importers, so they're saving you money on those prices as well when it comes to picking out that diamond for that perfect ring. Genesis Diamonds, they're located at Poplar and Perkins Extended for that beautiful engagement ring or any piece of beautiful jewelry for any special occasion. Go see them at Genesis Diamonds.
You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
As the seasons change, so does the need for reliable home comfort. It's time to turn to the experts with Choates, where your family's comfort is our top priority. Right now, Choates is making it easier than ever to upgrade your home's climate control with our exceptional Carrier systems. There's never been a better time to enhance your comfort. Select from incredibly low monthly payments, 36 months no interest financing, or choose our $1,650 Cool Cash rebate instead and lower the upfront cost on select Carrier systems. It's not just savings, it's cool cash in your pocket. Low monthly payments, no interest financing, or cool cash rebates? Whatever you choose, you're choosing quality, reliability, and the trusted service of Choates. Call us today at 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to learn more about these incredible savings. But hurry, these deals are as fleeting as a cool breeze on a hot day. Choates, let our family serve your family.
I've got Jason, the main man marshal, here, and he's ready to start something big at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike. What's up, Jace?
Randy, I've got 42 MPG on the highway on the all-new 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE for only $249 a month. Or take your pick from the 2024 Tiguan S front-wheel drive or 2024 Taos SE. We Gossett at $279.28 a month.
That's a 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE, $249 a month. Or take your pick from 2024 Tiguan S or 2024 Taos SE, $279.28 a month.
And Randy, you know the deal. Make me an offer because no reasonable offer will be refused.
Ask for Jason, the main man marshal at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike. Online, GossettVWMemphis.com.
Where we're charging for it and charging less every day.
All 36 monthly, 7,500 miles per year. Taos RMO 51756, MSRP 26063. Tiguan RM 103,910, MSRP 31363. Jetta RMO 48802, MSRP 25506. Cross Sport RC 2364449, MSRP 38981. Includes $3,000 rebate. Cannot be provided with special APR. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes pack and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
It's silly season in the life of your roof. I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. The weather can be unpredictable, and I'm ready to get more life out of your roof with our award-winning Owens Corning repair team. We're the repair guys the other repair guys call when they can't find the problem. Leaks become black mold when ignored. That's why when you call me, I start my inspection in the attic. Is it time for a beautiful new roof? 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you an estimate right over the phone. The best warranty in the business, including a warranty against ice dams. The only roofer in Memphis to offer a warranty against water intrusion due to snow buildup. Ask about military and first responder discounts. 901-867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
All of us tend to overdo things a little bit once spring takes hold, and some of the time we might wake up with a little bit of a headache and a lot of appetite. Your answer to a big night before is a breakfast or lunch at Sunrise. Sunrise East on Poplar and Sunrise on Jefferson are made for filling your belly with sweet relief. Have some signature square biscuits, some perfectly prepared eggs, or at lunch, a nice juicy Sunrise burger. And if your night before isn't quite over, both Sunrise locations have a full bar. Sunrise on Poplar and Sunrise on Jefferson, the perfect place to get over last night.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:50 the time. If you missed any of our interviews today, and we had a lot of them, you can always check out the website, sportsmemphis.com. Some of the interviews under featured audio, including our interview with Florida State head football coach Mike Norvell. Then you can listen to the show broken down hourly, so a podcast at your leisure for any of our shows throughout the day here on Sports 56. Again, breaking NBA news, J.B. Bickerstaff out in Cleveland. This guy, I think, has gotten a raw deal a couple of times. To be honest with you, we talked about that. So where does Cleveland go from here? We know the Lakers still have an opening. Charlotte has filled their opening. Phoenix has filled theirs with Budenholzer. I assume Lou's getting an extension with the Clippers.
This situation with J.B. Bickerstaff, again, illustrates, too, that if you want to say that Taylor Jenkins isn't on the hot seat, you're crazy.
Right.
Any of these coaches is. If you haven't accomplished anything, you're on the hot seat. Because they can always Like any one of these teams at any point can say, yeah, you're a fine coach, but you're not the coach we believe that could take a roster that you believe could compete for a championship, and you're not competing for that championship, then you'll change coaches.
Let me tell you this. This is how, and you're absolutely right. This is how bad it is now as far as the longevity of coaches, the tenure with teams. If Boston loses in either the Eastern Conference Final or loses again back-to-back years in the NBA Final, you would think, well, NBA Finals 2 straight years for Joe Mazzulla. Give this guy a 20-year contract extension. No, they won't. I'm not saying the guy's going to get fired, but he would quickly become at least mildly hot seat because it's all about now with the team they have winning it all, winning the championship. That's how crazy it can be. I'm not saying it's going to happen. That could happen. So certainly somebody like Taylor Jenkins, who I think is a very good coach, going into next season, if this team is healthy, and God forbid if anything close to last year happens again, he's expected to have that team right there competing. And not only in the regular season. That's great. That's fine and dandy. That sets you up for the postseason. But you have to do it in the postseason. And if it doesn't get done, yes, he's absolutely on the hot seat. There is no given that he is back for the year after. And I think the letting go of some of these assistant coaches, which hasn't been officially announced, is an indication to me that they're saying, look, we have to show something to the fans that we can't accept, even in a year of all these injuries, we can't accept that. So it's not going to be Taylor, but we're going to make some moves, and now the pressure will be on Taylor. I completely agree with that assessment from Hollinger, others. Giannotto wrote about it. There's others that don't feel he's on the hot seat. I think he absolutely is. But I think he's a really good coach, and I think he has a great chance to come through. I think he's a better coach than probably what you think, but I think
he has proven nothing to be a great head coach. He's not proven to be a bad head coach.
I say he's a very good head coach.
He's proven to be, at this point, kind of an average head coach. We'll see. He's been dealt a bad hand in postseasons because of some injury situations.
Suspension. The first year, right? Wasn't it the first Jaw suspension affected the postseason, right?
No, he was.
No, am I wrong?
No. Yeah.
Was he injured then, or what? Something happened with Jaw that the first year they finished second in the West under Taylor?
He got injured during the playoffs.
Okay. Well, he's injured then. Okay. The bottom line is he has been dealt a bad hand. But an organization and ownership will only go so far before the outcries come and then a move is made. I agree wholeheartedly with you with that. But the thing is, I think to coach them to a second place finish in the West 2 straight years, we don't count this past year, and then have all those injuries in the postseason, I don't put the blame on him as much as some others do. But I will agree, he is definitely on the hot seat. There's no question.
He's again, much like J.B. Bickerstaff, a younger coach in terms of experience who hasn't really accomplished anything great and is coaching for a team, a front office, who believes they have assembled a roster that is ready to compete for the championship.
I'll give you another example. Okay.
So you got in the first round of the playoffs next year, I would guess Taylor Jenkins is gone.
Okay. WNBA. We don't talk much about the WNBA, but with Caitlin Clark. They got close. They lost another game. They lost to Seattle 85-83. They're 0-5. Okay, they're not expected to be great, but they got Caitlin Clark, the number 1 overall pick. I don't even know who that coach is. That coach, if they don't get their act together and win some games, they'll fire that coach. That will happen. Coaches, the life expectancy of a coach is not long.
Well, a lot of people wanted her fired after game 1 because they don't believe she's using. They don't like the offense she's using, the way she's using Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I mean, it all counts. It all adds up to where they will fire that coach. They are not afraid now, organizations, and we've seen it at the college level. They're not afraid to get rid of coaches, even though they owe the coach money. It's not firing with cause. It's firing without cause. They owe them the money. They're not afraid of having to pay Coach A, Coach B, several coaches possibly, to get the right person in there. Well, that'll do it for us today. We want to thank you folks for listening, and we want to thank all our great guests. David Davis from the Memphis Showboat. Steve Berkowitz joined us from USA Today. Kerry Miller from Bleacher Report. UFC fighter Danny Barlow, undefeated professional. And Mike Norvell, the Florida State head football coach. Again, if you missed any of the interviews, check out the website, sportsmemphis.com. Tomorrow, John Varlas will join us from the Spring Fling in Murfreesboro. We got 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. Some other guests as well that will join us beginning bright and early at 7 a.m. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. For Eli Savoy and for Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great Thursday, everybody.